Hey folks, welcome back to Out the Abyss with me, Beanie, and my amazingly postcardable friends, Fanaxki and Phil. Oh god, he's being...
Hi.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I preferred him when he had like...
Scarbeus, Laurie.
Hello.
Bazak, Mike.
Hello.
And Wookie Matt.
Hello.
Alright, so last time in Out the Abyss, shit happened. After reaching the city, the Dwagar city of Greckelster, the party was quick to make their presence known, and amongst just stepping through the gates, quite literally within the first 30 feet of the city, managed to get themselves overwhelmed with guards who took them prisoner and sent them to a place known as the...
Prison.
What is it? Was it the whole of the Overlake Hold?
I just call it prison.
The Overlake Hold is what it's called. And upon reaching there, they were thrown into cells and left to stew for several hours. Mischief occurred during said time, and eventually Dwagar came to collect the party, grabbing people at the cells, attempting to grab Kamar out with the party, but Kamar, due to his stubbornness, feigned unconsciousness.
The chief mischief maker.
Various things happened. These Dwagar, for reasons, ended up beating on both Flint and Eldith, completely beating both the party's dwarfs into unconsciousness, before then chaining one to Kamar in place of Cobalt, who had managed to earn that right previously. The rest of the party was taken up to meet with a captain...
Dwarf lady.
Everything ready. Considering it was like 25 minutes late, I really should have had all this shit ready.
Yep.
To a Captain Ed Blackskull, who contracted the party to complete 2 tasks for her, in exchange for freedom and a few other things the party would be able to make use of.
So we're told, freedom.
Escape the Underdark and complete their other quests. The two things that they were tasked to do were to search for corruption within the Stone Guards ranks or within the city itself, as Captain Blackskull seemed to have a belief that a strange corruption was spreading in the city, and the party, having already witnessed at least 2 accounts of such, had already proven that they might be useful in aiding her discover this, and possibly its source. The other objective was to search for a Darrow by the name of Droki, who was causing mischief within the city, and who Captain Blackskull thought was up to something much more or part of something much more sinister. Upon agreeing and signing contracts saying as such, as well as signing a contract, or as well as agreeing as part of the contract that they took all responsibilities for Kamar, the party's loose cannon, I'm going to say.
Twat.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
It doesn't, no.
And of course, they were also told that should they break the word of any of these contracts, they would be captured and sold into slavery, or executed, one of the two, whichever's easiest at the time. However, upon agreeing and reforming their party, leaving only Eldith and Flint behind as a kind of collateral, the group were given back their gear and escorted outside, where we left off. You guys are currently stood outside the Overlake Hold in the middle of the Dark Lake District.
Which one's the Overlake Hold? Is it the same place as the prison?
Overlake Hold, if you've just named it prison, then yes. That's Overlake Hold.
Didn't we go to the tavern, like, last thing?
Nope.
Yeah.
No, we literally just ended it, like, just after I got punched in the face.
Because we had a fairly long scene.
We did.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's I think the first time since I've met you that I've wanted to sort of clap.
Of course, because Kamar did punch Renlin.
Right in his face.
For surrendering to the Dwagar, seemingly.
I don't know why he'd want me to fight a city, but apparently that's exactly what was on his mind. So
You were kind of the one that triggered the city.
I'm going to make Kamar's token kind of big, so you guys can move that around the city. Or we can move that around the city to show where you are.
Oh boy, I'm the party representative.
Yeah, I thought
well,
that'd be
you're
interesting.
probably the most noticeable one there.
Yeah.
You're also kind of you are kind of the charisma guy.
Am I?
Yes.
No, actually, I think I am. When it comes to charisma, I think I have the highest amount of charisma. I'm not the
When
most
it comes to-
charismatic person here. I just have the highest
When it
level of
comes to
charisma.
persuasion, when it comes to persuasion,
he doesn't have a good bonus. He's just
No,
very good at rolling it.
I'm not proficient. I just don't roll lower than 16.
well then, like I said, you're the best at it.
I was gonna say because my charisma's +4, so
Fate has chosen you, Mike. Take up the mantle.
What are you all doing? It's been a long time since any of you slept.
Well, yeah,
At least Kamar is feeling like absolute shit after being
Yeah,
knocked into
level
unconsciousness.
Too
in case
exhausted,
in
I
case
think.
you guys forget, it was on people's minds, and I think Mike's already mentioned it, but we were suggesting to go to the tavern on the north side, seeing as that's where randoms go to sleep, and we kind of need that. So
Yes, that was.
and we
pretty
might
much
find
the
a bunch
idea.
of information there anyway.
That
It wasn't. It was. Excuse me while I get my notes.
No.
if one of you's got it in your notes, I won't say it, but
Notes.
I know Kamara especially is hurting for a bed, so as soon as he finds out where he can go to rest, that's exactly where he's gonna go.
Gorbroom's care. I think that's how you say that.
Ooh. I don't know.
Leia, sorry, not care.
Oh, Lair, right? Yeah.
That is the inn. The tavern Laurie is thinking of is just a tavern. It is not a inn.
Ah, in that case, I don't know where the inn is.
We were given directions and something.
Yeah, I thought
You
we
were,
could.
yeah. The last,
Yeah, I thought we
well,
could
yeah,
see
it's because
that.
it can be assumed. Basically, Goldbrum's lair is this one. It's within this stalagmite here.
Oh, well, go there then.
Yep. So it's actually not that far away either. It's only about a 5-minute walk, and it is. The scale on this map is a little deceiving. These stalagmites and the clusters of rock and stuff are very big, so it is. It's much bigger than it looks on that map. But anyway, yes, it takes you about 5 minutes to walk down, and is as I described last time. You just walking in this city. The air is filled with acrid smoke. It's somewhat hard to breathe. Around you can see a ton of you see a relatively dense crowd of people kind of milling about, and that is made up of not just Dwagar, but members of many other subterranean races as well. Darrow, Drow, pardon me, Spurf Neblin.
Pardon me, what kind of races are those?
Sorry?
The pardon me race, what kind of race is that?
Human.
The one that doesn't want to be burping at people.
Oh, the one race. That one race that does that.
The inn itself. The inn itself is like the rest of the city, very, very uninspiring. It is just the outside of it is just the plain stalagmite rock. The sign that shows it's the inn is
making notes.
It just states the Gorbron's lair. There's no pictures, no decoration on it, or of any kind. It's just simply there to be of use, not to be pretty to look at. Stepping inside, you can see that this is a fairly cold building. There is basically what you walk into is almost like a canteen with benches and tables kind of laid out in 3 separate rows, maybe each bench seating about 15 to 20 individuals, obviously split onto each side. On the far end, there is a desk behind which there is a Dwagar. Doesn't say, so yeah, a Dwagar stood behind there. She is short grey hair, kind of down to her neck, wearing what seems to be a very clean leather apron. On the counter in front of her, it's all very clean except for a single ledger, which is open and pointed towards the doorway. There is currently a few people kind of sat around the benches. You can see a single Sverfneblin, 3 drow, 2 of which are male, 1 of which is female, and about a dozen Dwagar kind of spread amongst the benches in 3 separate groups.
I'm just going to go up to the dwarf lady and inquire about spare rooms.
Okay. You step up. She sees you. She's currently, as you get closer, you see she's basically writing in a little journal, it would seem. And she looks up as you approach and says, "What do you want? How many rooms?"
Just the one, please. Just for me.
The 1 room for you. That'll be 4 silver for the night. Unless you want to, you're welcome to pay up to 5 nights ahead of time, and we can make sure and ensure the room is safe for you.
How much for 5 nights with breakfasts?
5 nights with breakfast is 25 silver.
I'll just hand her a gold piece and say, "There you go."
So 2 nights of breakfast then.
Sorry, brain maths.
10 silver to a gold.
Oh yeah, of course. Sorry, yeah. I'll hand her however much. I can't do the
another
maths.
gold and
It's
5
been a
silver.
long day, a long week.
That's fair.
Laurie thinking he's being a rich bitch.
She takes it, stuffs it, or you hear a kind of the clinking of a little metal tin opening and then being closed after she jingles some coins into it. She then pushes the ledger towards you, brings a quill and ink pot up onto the counter and says, "Sign your name there." And she then kind of turns around and starts messing around with some keys.
I'll sign my name and then wait expectantly.
Okay.
While I still try and figure out how much this actually costs.
She says,
2 gold, 5 silver.
"Yeah."
Thank you, Phil.
I did. She takes the key off
Jesus
the wall
Christ,
and says,
it's been a
"Write
long
down
week.
your
I'm
in-room
so
tab."
busy.
And then puts the key on the counter.
Thank you very much.
Down the corridor, second corridor. Turn right on. Sorry, my brain is completely failing me today. Down the corridor, turn right, and it's the second door on the left.
Okay.
How
What's
many
everybody else
of us are there? Ignoring Laurie now, I guess.
So there's you 3, there's Turvy, there's
and-
Stool.
So 5.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm fine paying for a room for myself and Turvy.
I'll take stool, I guess.
So
I
2
guess
rooms,
there's-
3 rooms, do we think?
To be perfectly honest, I'm going to sort of lean into Cobalt, and it's like, do you want to take a room with the angry guy? Make sure he doesn't do anything.
Oh, you're being given command duty. Ah.
I suppose I would be the best to keep an eye on him, given I require less sleep.
Also, I feel that in a in a face-to-face confrontation, I feel that you'd fare a lot better than I would.
Hmm.
It's the sensible thing. It's the right thing to do.
So we wish for 2 rooms then.
Are you-
I approach the lady.
okay. She sees you approach, kind of is a little taken aback by the sight of you to start off with.
Rude.
And then
Used to
says,
Doesn't make it not rude.
Cairngorm's Cavern, I really can't speak tonight, is south of the Furrow if you want to go, if you want to find your kin. If not, how many rooms? How many nights?
So-
How many rooms?
My kin.
Yes.
Yeah.
How many rooms? How many nights? Breakfast
There
or
are-
not?
Wait, no, hang on. Wait, what? There's others of me?
Stop right there.
I don't,
God, they think you're a
If you don't-
stone giant.
if you don't know of them, then you're obviously not here to sleep in their area. How many rooms? How many nights? Breakfast or not?
What do you
The
think I am?
innkeeper suddenly realised they need to talk themselves out of a sale. Backpedal, backpedal, backpedal.
What do you think I am? This is of vital importance.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, right.
Do you know who I am?
Come to me.
Cobalt.
Do you know who the internet thinks I am?
I just give myself a very slight tap.
Bearing in mind, no, you've already
Oh,
spoke. You're not persuading after the fact.
5.
Well, that's not a
Yeah.
good roll. Unless it was DC 5.
She says,
AC?
I don't,
AC.
I don't have time for. I don't have time for any messing around. I've got taxes to do. And she kind of gestures at the little diary she was doing stuff in. How many rooms? How many nights? Breakfast or not? Or you can clear off. But I warn you, this is the only place that serves outsiders.
I just kind of grumble and just 2 rooms, 5 people, 4 breakfasts,
All right, I need a
4,
name.
5 nights.
I'll need a name per room, and she pushes the book, the ledger, and the quill and ink forwards, and it'll be.
I sign for 1.
And I will sign for Tava.
Room 6 and room 2. Room 6, right, and then keep down the corridor. It's the 5th door on the left. Room 2, right. Take a left, and it's the first door on your left.
I'm writing room numbers, but not directions, for what it's worth.
All right,
So you're room 2 and I'm room
that's
6.
fine. 'Cause I'm going to
right?
completely forget directions.
I write some illegible scrawl for my name.
Well, I said
Yeah.
I'd sign for our
Yeah,
room.
you don't need,
She-
you don't need to write it.
She looks and says, "I can't read that. You'll need to write it again."
Who, me?
No, him. Come on.
You don't need to write your name in. She
He
said
doesn't
one
need to,
person
like,
per
as soon
room.
as he would approach, I'd say, it's fine, I'm signing for our room.
Okay.
And then I would hand the quill to Anwar, I guess.
This is actually quite awkward for Anwar or Turvey in this matter, as the counter itself is above your head. Like, it is the bottom of the counter.
That's a bit odd for like a
is
dwarven city, though, isn't
basically
it?
leaving up about an inch. No,
Or,
dwarves are.
or
a
are they
good
just
foot-
they just really short?
No, well, yeah, Sverf and Eblin are about maybe 2/3 the size of a dwarf. Like, this counter is low for a human, but it's
Fair
still
enough.
high for a Sverf and Eblin. Like, it's still awkward, unfortunately.
How much was that?
Well, how many nights and breakfast or not?
5 nights, 'cause she said that was the most he could do.
Breakfast or not?
Yes.
Yes.
4 breakfast per
So
day.
that'd be
I
5
said,
gold.
yeah, I did say 4 breakfasts because I don't need to eat.
5 gold, and let me know by the 4th day if you want the room reserving any longer.
5 gold total?
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
2.5 each.
I
Oh.
hand her 5 gold.
She takes it. Again, you hear the clinking of her iron tub opening, scattering of coins inside, and then tin goes down.
Okay. I'm going to ask Cobalt if he could just sort of lift me up so I can sign.
I lift him up.
Up!
You
Yay!
bring up Anwar, and you are able to just kind of reach out and decide your name. She says,
Oh,
Put your-
baby.
"Put your room number next to your names as well."
Pro tip,
6.
do that in real life as well.
Uh,
I've just
Sure.
written room 6 in my private notes for
I mean,
private
that's-
things.
It's very private.
I thought you were gonna say I thought you were gonna say you wrote room 6 for your name there. I was like, what?
Hello, I am room 6. I'm going to be staying in Anwar.
Oh my.
your friend wandered off. Are you needing food for the evening, or are you just going straight to your room?
Who are you talking about, by the way? Which
You-
person?
She's talking to them. You said you'd wandered off, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Did you not? Oh, sorry.
No, I'm hanging around.
All right. In that case, she says,
Very
"Do you
good.
need food for the evening, or are you just going straight to bed, or straight to the rooms?"
Think food would be a good
Let me know
idea.
now. I need to get. I've got stuff that needs doing, so don't
I could go for food.
When was the last time we
food for
ate?
one.
And I'm going
That's
to turn
okay.
to Topsy and I'm going to turn to Turvy and Stool.
Good
it has
point.
been about 15 hours since you ate. 12 to 15 hours.
Yeah,
Like, you're in that
probably-
cell for about 6 or 7 hours.
I answer for Anwar and Stool. They definitely, well, Stool at least I answer for.
I'll just turn to those three and say, I suggest we do our inquiries tomorrow. Food, sleep now.
Even as you kind of discussing this, Turvey kind of sees that you've got things in hand and just excuses himself and then wanders off, not out of the building, but towards one of the benches. He seems to be making a beeline for the other Sverfneblin.
That's understandable. But I mean, it's not as if he's got a Sverfneblin in the party he could speak to.
Well, what do you think?
Roll me an insight check, Matt.
I mean, I have
Insight.
no idea about any of the stuff that's going on, so...
Did you say insight?
Yep.
Oh,
He said outside.
I see.
She then, whilst he's doing this, the dwarf says, "So meals for
Pick
the
up.
Sverfneblin, the mushroom, and the elf thing.
Elf thing?
That one." She gestures at Renman.
I just smile and nod, as in sort of like,
You two eating or not?
I
Come on, tell
will. I grunt in agreement.
All right.
I will, yes.
Well,
I don't require food. Thank you.
all right. I guess you lot just eat rocks or something. That's 4, so that'd be 4 silver. Cough it up.
I'll hand
you
her 4
think
silver
I
and
am?
then. Well, hang on. I'll just ask. What are our options for food?
Same as everybody else. Bowl of gruel.
Oh boy, I love gruel.
I'm actually a good fan of gruel.
Very
Highly
well.
religious food.
I'll
I
just.
hand
You
her,
basically grew up on gruel as a paladin.
I hand her the buns.
Makes you sturdy.
I hand her a gold.
I look
Yeah,
for my
she
least favorite
digs-
pieces of silver and then hand her the 4
Least
silver.
favorite.
She
Yeah.
puts the coal in the tin and then passes you back 6 silver.
Oh boy, I've actually got silver pieces now.
Hmm.
What'd you get in your persuasion, by the way? Insight?
11.
11.
Insight.
Everything's
even.
fine. Everything's fine.
I think he's a racist.
What? So what's everybody? Anybody wanting to do anything? Whilst you're waiting on your food?
Uh,
Well, I'll look around for a spare table.
For what it's worth, she just goes. Upon taking the funds, she just goes back to writing in this book.
What I
Actually,
would
doesn't-
do.
I'm
Doesn't
going
gesture or
to
anything for food.
I'm going to give myself a slight tap.
Ting.
I will approach the lady, and I'll just kind of slide her a gold piece. Just be like, so.
What am I?
She looks up at you and she's
What did you say?
started scribbling her journal again. Really can't speak tonight. Looks at the gold coin. Looks at you, and says, "If you don't put that back in your pocket, I'll kick you out right here and now."
What does she think he's proposing?
Like,
What did you actually say, by the way? I didn't actually hear that. You
Very
both
well.
spoke at the same time.
What am I?
It's just what does she think he is?
I am going to do the responsible adult thing and
no.
order 2 tankards of ale or mead or some sort of Underdark equivalent.
Only thing we have here is. Sorry.
Only thing we have here is all
only
the
thing we have
alcohol.
here-
Funnily
it's
enough,
not-
is actually the name of the food and water.
Only thing we have here is Dark Lake Stout.
It's the noise you make after
2 of
drinking it.
those, please.
That's 4 copper.
I hand her a silver piece.
She takes the silver piece, puts it in the tin, takes 6 copper, and puts it on the counter for you.
Perfect.
She's also completely ignored the question from Ukebolt. It seemed like roll me an insight check.
Cobalt,
While I was doing this, I was looking for a spare table for us.
There's the 3 benches, and you can
8.
basically just sit at a portion of those benches, but it's not like separate tables. It's just like
Okay,
a canteen.
I'll find a spare section and I'll go sit down and sort of start like brushing the table a bit and sort of sit down
For what
and
it's worth,
a
the
place.
table is actually kept fairly, quite clean. For the rest of the, for the fact that there's nothing in this room beyond the
What's with my
the furniture
neck?
and just what's needed.
It's so stiff. I've just
What
been
is
busy
there is
working
actually
all
kept
week.
very clean. The bench is just
Ugh.
a single bench that people sit on with no kind of partitions between them. The table is just a rock table. It's fairly coarse, it's not smooth, but it is clean. Phil,
Just
with your
rocking those
insight,
rolls tonight, Phil.
8.
you're not sure why she was so heavily insulted, but she's not. So she's not answered your
I
question.
don't care why she was insulted. I'm insulted.
Cobalt, some of the others have been getting a bit confused as well. I think one of them before referred to you as a rock giant.
But I'm not giant.
But
Quite
you are made
tall.
of rock.
Are you actually made of rocks or metal?
At this point, a door behind the counter opens up, and 2 floating trays come out, both about 3 feet off the ground. One of which has a bowl and 2 flagons on it, and another one has 3 bowls on it. They're both placed on the counter to the side of the ledger. She looks at them and says, Four bowls of gruel, 2 dark lake stouts. Take them and sit down.
Thank
Be
you.
a bother.
I take the tray and I'm gonna go and sit. I don't care how much he may dislike me. I'm gonna go and sit with Turvey.
By this point, you can actually see that Turvey is. It seemed like he conversed with this Sverfneblin for a little bit, and he's just kind of moved away. And he seems to be now going going to one of the groups of Dwagar. He doesn't. Roll me an insight check.
Oh boy, I can do those kind of. 21. That's a nat 20.
You can kind of looking at him and the manner in which he's going about things. You can tell that you get the idea that he was asking the Sverfneblin something, and that he didn't get the answer he was hoping to get. And he's now. You get the general impression that he's going to keep asking that question of the other patrons. The Sverfneblin was just his first visit.
I'm going to go ahead and assume.
I think I know what he's asking about, and to be perfectly honest, I think it's probably best if I don't try
What or
and stop him
who?
at the moment.
Well, I would have assumed it would be, have you seen my sister?
Yeah.
Is anybody going to take this tray of broth, gruel, or am I just going to put it back in the kitchen?
I take the tray.
Yeah, go. Shoo.
I take a bowl off the tray, and then
I go sit down, and I'm just gonna glare at her, just like.
She pays no mind as long as you're out of her personal bubble. She just goes back to doing her taxes or whatever it is.
By any chance,
this is not how you run the hospitality business.
By any chance, do you sit down where I've sat down?
I don't know. Are you sitting down where Renan sits or somewhere else?
Sure.
I'm sitting down at the first available seat. I don't care who I'm sitting next to.
Yeah,
I'll take a bowl from the tray that Phil's got.
Seeing as
Sorry, Carol.
I was saying, seeing as Turvey's gone off on a bit of a quest, I'm going to redirect and go and sit with Cobalt.
Okay. In that case, you 3 are sat together. Renman, was the seat you found the first available set, or would you have got it midway through the table, or?
Well, I looked for an area where we could all sit down together, so I looked for a spare space for all of us.
In that case, you kind of go about halfway down the middle table, where there's basically the biggest kind of bubble of area that is free, which means that Kamar, the first available seat, is actually next to a group of Dwagar. Are you just sitting there, or are you going to?
Yeah.
You are, okay. You just kind of place your bowl down.
Oh, it's not even placing. I'm level 2 exhausted. I just slump, lean over, just like this has been a bad day.
You slump it down. High or low?
High.
It does, as you bash it down, it does kind of swish and splash out a little. Fortunately, none seems to go on any of your new, or any of the people adjacent to you. You just kind of sit. They seem to be in discussion about something, Are you paying attention to what they're talking about? Or are you
Oh
just...
God, no.
Yeah.
I'm
You
sitting
just-
here out of necessity, not because I'm trying to spy on the locals.
That's fair. You've got a metal spoon with the bowl, and you're able to eat it. The rest of you, the other three,
I'll make sure Stork comes over with us.
Stool has sat down, or has kind of gone to stand next to Kamar. Unfortunately, there isn't really another space for him on the bench. He's just kind of stood there, like looking a bit awkward.
I'll just kind of
Aww.
very gently say, Stork, come over here and you can have the food and was ordered for you.
He kind of looks at Kamar, but then follows you, like waddles along to where you're sat, and kind of very gingerly pulls up his cap just enough to get his arms out and pull himself onto the bench, so he can kind of stand on the bench to be above the table.
So
I
here's
will help him with his food, however is best done.
He can eat fine. Like he's not full on baby. He can.
It was more just like I didn't know if it was too high up for him or anything.
No. He has to stand for it, but he can eat fine.
So I had bought a spare stout for my fellow Svirfneblin, but seeing as he doesn't want it, I turn to Cobalt and I say, "Would you like this stool?" And I put it down next to Stool.
Stool kind of cocks his head, and an area of spores just kind of waves down on everybody. Oh, what's this? And he kind of reaches for it.
I don't know if I should be allowing this or not.
Smells yucky. But I am thirsty.
Fine. It's delicious.
He does start to kind of tip it over, and this.
Like, do my kids drink?
We're about to see a
My
drunk
kids do
baby.
drink. Like you have seen him.
No, I know they drink, but do they drink alcohol?
We're about to find out.
He does start, and it is like Stool is small size, but he is smaller than the Svirfneblin, and he is like this flagon is
It's
quite comically huge.
That's a
in his
good point.
hands.
I say don't
Those
drink.
guys
don't
aren't
drink
there
too
anymore.
much, but I think it's just a little bit of it would be good for him.
He
These
does.
guys are actually still at the
Might
prison.
help to come out of his cap a little bit.
He
They are prisoners at the prison.
drinks a bit, kind of puts it down. He just like completely shivers. Not nice, but he does. He then carries on.
Takes two steps, and falls flat on his face.
We'll have a roll of Constitution save for him.
There we go. Let's put a bit of nice art on
He
there.
drinks it. He kind of puts it down, and he carries on drinking it whilst he's eating. He doesn't down the whole thing at once, but you can tell he's thirsty. So it's kind of a drink what you've got kind of situation.
I mean, we could
just kind of muse out loud. Perhaps I should prepare Greek water tomorrow.
I mean, we could see if they've got lemonade.
If you could create coffee instead, that would be great.
I doubt they would have something
water, I'm
as
afraid.
nice as that. But creating some better quality food would be preferable.
I mean,
Cannot do that.
is coffee a common thing in Faerun?
Probably
Coffee,
not. I was
yeah,
joking.
no. Coffee is
Really?
coffee is a thing. There are coffee beans. It is brewed. It's not like the stuff you'd have in our day and age, but it is a thing. It's just you're not likely to have it in like a common's house, but you might have it in an inn or something. That said, you're unlikely to find it deep in the Underdark.
Oh, no, I can't do that. That's a 3rd level spell.
What
Oh,
about tea?
no, I can create water.
So,
I thought you were going to do like create food and water, like creating food and water,
Create
not
food and
just
water
create
is,
water and
3rd
just
level.
like
Create
soak
food and water's
everything.
3rd level. So I've not got access to it.
I know you can create and destroy water pretty early.
Yeah, I can create and destroy water. So I can prepare that.
How long would it take you to destroy the Dark Lake?
Forever.
A while. A while.
Oh.
Yeah.
I can only destroy 10 gallons of water in an open container.
A lake is
So, I
kind
don't
of a
know.
container.
A lake-
Does a lake count as being in an open container, Beanie?
I
There
think
you go, I can
basically,
destroy it 10 gallons at a time.
I think it basically is like if you had a closed, like a sealed bottle or something like that, you couldn't. That's
Yeah.
gone now.
I know. I can destroy 10 gallons at a time. So,
So, give it a few years, and you'll destroy the entire Dark Lake.
has somebody drawn the? Is that the Islam symbol? next to you.
No,
No, it's the
it's a
travel log symbol.
moon. Yeah,
Okay.
with some stars next to it.
Yeah, I thought that was the Islam
Oh
symbol
my
for some
God.
reason.
It's very similar, but not the same.
Okay. So, is anybody else doing
That's
anything?
1 star.
I'm just going to be keeping a listen out.
Well, I'm gonna
when
I'm gonna
I'm
get through
finished-
my food, just so it's done with, and then just gonna. Well, depends if it. Let's see if anyone's doing anything during that period.
I am going to finish my gruel and my drink.
Okay.
Yep, I finish the gruel, and as soon as I'm done with that, I will stand up and walk over to Cobalt, and I'll just say, "Room key."
Pass it over.
Okay, right, and then I'll
I repeat the directions to the room for him, just to be sure.
yep, and I stagger off to the bedroom.
You see, as he staggers off, some of the Dwagar, like one of the Dwagar groups, quite the one he was sat next to, do turn around to kind of watch him go, but they just kind of shake their heads and mutter something before going back to their conversation.
Do I hear what they mutter?
No, you've gone down the corridor like this.
Okay.
When you
Do I
disappear,
hear
it's
what
when they turn around.
mutter?
Are you trying to?
Probably.
oh
I did
boy,
say
I'd
I would, while everyone's eating, I would just generally be keeping an ear out.
It did,
I'd
yeah.
love to start a tavern.
In that case, roll perception. I missed that, so
Hey.
22. All right, so you actually notice a few things. This is before Kamar goes as well, to be fair. So the first thing you notice is you kind of overhear Turvey talking to one of the Dwagar groups. He kind of moves up to one, says, "Excuse me, have you seen a?" At which point the Dwagar says, "Ah, fuck off," and just kind of slaps him. Turvey just kind
Very
of
British.
taken back. He's kind of put on a back foot for a second, then goes like. Tries to strengthen his resolve a little and steps up again. Have you seen another Sverf Neblin? The Dwagar just full on backhands him, so Turvey falls back. Then just goes back to his conversation. Turvey then moves on to another Dwagar group, a little seemingly not put off from asking other people stuff. However, this is basically the same for each of the Dwagar groups. He goes there, and they all have. None of the others are physical towards him, but they all just tell him to go away. None of them want anything to do with him. He doesn't, however, go to the group of Drow, instead choosing to come and sit over on the bench by you. Actually, he goes and buys himself a bowl of gruel, pardon me, and a drink before. And at this point, I will say, Renan, you are extremely thirsty. Like, you're starting to look at these Dark Lake stouts and thinking, actually, that might not be a bad idea.
The gruel's very liquidy, isn't it?
Not really, actually. It's actually
like-
surprisingly
Like almost like a thick cardboard.
Oh right.
Not-
In that case,
not
let's
even
just
that,
say I
it's-
will have bought a drink with it. Then I thought it was like a soup or something.
no.
Let's just say I will
no,
have bought a drink with it. Then how much was it?
It was another 2 copper. Just to let you know, like the actual gruel itself, despite being the kind of stew-like thing that you'd expect of gruel, it is instead a kind of mush of. It's basically a mushroom mush, if that makes sense.
It's like
not
a
the
thick
nicest
porridge
thing.
kind of thing.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
weird,
I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's weird because gruel is actually really thin porridge.
Is it?
Gruel is, yeah.
I got that. Well, that's what they're. That's
Have
what
you
she's
never
called it.
seen Oliver Twist?
No.
No.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that's where I was getting
Oh.
confused. Yeah. I thought,
yeah,
well, I
would-
shouldn't need a drink because I've got gruel.
It's very poor gruel then.
Yeah, but either way, that's what it is. And yeah, I didn't describe it. So that's on me.
Okay, well, when I finish my gruel, I'll finish my water, and then I'll not quietly say, all right then, tomorrow morning we'll meet up here again and get ready to set off. After all, I'll be very curious to know if the Demogorgon's actually headed this way or not. Anyway, good night, and then I'll head off to my room.
Well, again, sorry, this is. Actually, no. Yeah, that's fine. As you're doing this is just as Kamara is heading off as well. Cobalt, you do hear the Dwagar muttering after him. They're just insulting him behind his back. It is just
That's fine.
their typical
Was it?
racism.
Well, it's a good thing I didn't hear that, because, I don't care. I'll be level 3 exhausted by the end of the night.
A few minutes after
These new
Renlin
headphones
and
are a
Kamara
bit
disappeared,
like sore on my head. I'm just not used to them yet.
you do notice the drow. One of the males gets up and leaves. You also notice the female kind of shooting glances in your party's direction every so often. However, you get the opinion that she's not wanting you to see this, because every time she sees that you're you look towards them, she makes it seem like she's looking past you or something like that.
She doesn't want to let on that she's looking at us.
Yeah,
kind of.
and she is being subtle. You're only noticing this because you're a very aware person, it would seem. Or at least at this particular moment, you're very aware of your surroundings, and so every so often you can just kind of, at the corner of your eye, you see an ebony head looking in your direction. By the time you look up, it's already back, looking at the other drow.
After very loudly announcing what I did, I'm going, well, not shouting, obviously, just sort of saying it quite loud. I'm going to casually walk out towards my room, but I'm going to try and just sort of casually glance around, just see, did anyone react to the fact that I mentioned a Demogorgon might be heading this way?
The Dwagar, absolutely no reaction whatsoever. You get the opinion they couldn't give a shit what you say. The drow, they are what? More of a perception check?
Yeah, because I was just thinking, I might have actually just caught the end of that. Because I was only really paying attention to what other people were doing, so I got 10. I was only really paying attention to what other people were doing as I was walking out, thinking, I'll just throw this comment before I walk out.
The drow seem intent on their own conversation, and the Sverfneblin is just intent on their own meal. Doesn't seem to pay any mind. So, is anybody else wanting to do anything this evening?
Well, when I staggered off to the room, I just went into the room and then face first on the first bed that I came across and just passed the fuck out.
Did you close
I'd be
the door?
surprised if the door even closed behind me.
Oh, well.
So, you move into the room. You don't really take notice of this room. You just walk
Absolutely
in,
not.
move to the bed, and fall face first onto a very uncomfortable and tough enough mattress that as you fall face first on it, you take 1 point of bludgeoning damage, which I'm pretty sure knocks you into unconsciousness, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. I had full health.
Oh, okay. I thought you'd gone down to...
Yeah,
No,
but he's also in full armor, are you not?
Yeah, I am. So I actually
Sleeping
take
in full
less
armor?
damage.
Fortunately...
No, because I've got the heavy armor master. So if it's one
Okay,
bludgeoning
there you
damage,
go. I was
don't
going to
take
say,
any
you don't want to take
damage.
more exhaustion from sleeping in full armor.
You don't
Fortunately...
take exhaustion from sleeping in full armor.
Do you know? Where am I getting that from?
No.
I thought
Pathfinder, I'm assuming.
that is a Pathfinder thing.
Oh, Pathfinder, right. Okay.
But yeah, you actually... Fortunately, the beds are actually carved from the same stalagmite the building is carved from, with just a heavy mattress placed on top of it, so you don't break the bed frame. Or there is a loud as you collapse on it.
Yep. And I am passed out until somebody wakes me.
So, what the rest? Brendan, you've disappeared off. You eventually get to a room. You see that it is just a single bedroom, a single bed. There is a small chest that you can put any personal belongings in. The door locks from both sides, and there is also a bolt on the door. Should you wish to use it,
I will. Is there a window?
there is no window.
I'll check to see if there's any way anyone could look in, or any holes where someone might be able to listen in or anything like that, and then
There is also, you notice on the wall there is a torch. There is a oil lantern connected to the wall that you can turn on and off at your leisure as well. And this, I should mention actually, I didn't mention this before. This is something that the entire inn itself does have light sources. There are lanterns throughout, providing light. It's very obvious that this is designed for foreigners, kind of thing. And roll me a investigation check, Laurie.
20.
20. You don't find anything else. It seems like this is a safe place. If you bolt the door,
Seems
you don't
legit.
be able to get in.
Right, bolt the door, go to bed.
All right. Cobalt and Anwar. You doing anything else this evening?
Uh,
That is me done for the day.
after a few minutes of just having everyone else disappear, I'll just sort of lean towards Anwar and very quietly just say, "Be wary of the drow tonight. At least one of them has been glancing over at us rather frequently as we've been eating."
I will do.
I am saying that quietly.
I know.
Thank
They still
you
get
for
a roll.
warning.
I know, I'm just saying.
I am
know.
going to I'm going to make sure that Turvey
There we go.
comes up with
Make that a little bit
with me
looser.
at the same time. But I'm going to sort
It's
of
a good new
stick
headset, by the
Blake
way, but
towards
still
my
getting used to
room.
it.
I'll also just say, I'll also just need to talk with you in your room, and I'll direct that at Turvey. Just before we call it a night.
He has been in his own kind of like daze the entire night. But he just looks at okay. I've finished. I was gonna go to the room now. So
Yeah, I think it's good idea. If
I assume stool is done.
stool is done. He just
Stool
kind
is
of-
done.
He lets out a telepathic hiccup in your heads.
Oh, we got him drunk.
I just say, "Come on, stool. We can
He
go
just-
to sleep soon."
He hops off the bench and waddles after you.
I just want to remind you all that I am a responsible adult. That's all.
So I'll follow Anwar and Turvey to their room to start with.
All four of you head to Anwar and Turvey's room then. As you leave, you do notice one last glance from the drow, but there's no intent to follow you. You also notice a few of the Dwagar kind of watching you as well.
I wave at the drow lady.
By the time again, you notice this out of the corner of your eye. By the time you're looking at her, she's already in conversation with the male.
Oh, of course.
And she doesn't seem to notice you.
I was gonna say, like, if she's still looking at you, just like blow her a kiss or something.
I was gonna wink, but do I
Can
even
you?
blink?
Yeah, that thing Warforged are capable of doing.
How does a Warforged eyes work?
You've still got eyes, so I'm going to. Since the rules don't say anything about blindness or anything like that with you, I'm going to say yes, you do still blink.
You're essentially a robot, so just like two windscreen wipers, just.
But by all intents and purposes, he is think of it as he is a robot designed based on the biological machinations of a human being.
Think of this
with just a few alterations made for good. So that would be the things specifically mentioned in the stats. So you don't eat, you don't breathe, you don't drink.
Think of it like this. He's almost like a synth.
Yeah.
I know what that is, but okay. I understand.
Fallout 4.
I understand the concept. I have never played any of the Fallouts.
Yeah, I knew you wouldn't actually say that. I don't know why I said it. All right, so you all get to Turvey and Anwar's room. You step inside. There is a single bed, a single chest, and an oil lantern.
He puts Turvey in the chest.
People needed to be in each room, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah,
He did.
well, you still only asked for two rooms.
Yeah, but it's more just I'd have thought there'd be enough beds in them.
That'd be common decency had she told you that.
I mean, sure.
Well, you asked for 2 rooms. You didn't specify how many beds you wanted. Now that's a different question altogether.
Sleeping in each room, so I
Yeah, but she was. I'm guessing she was more like, "Hey, whatever you do with your one bed is up to not my business."
She let you guys
On
decide
the
what
plus
She
you
runs a
side-
seedy hotel.
On the
That's
plus
the
side,
assumption.
It's not gonna creak or anything like that if you do decide to go on it.
Anyway,
Understand.
after we're all in the room, I'll shut the door,
Mhm.
and I'll just say, by the sounds of it, you're looking for your sister.
Turvey, arms folded, looking very guarded, kind of says, "Yeah, I was wanting to. I tried to speak to Sareth back in the jail, but the Dwagar told me to come back before I could get any answers. If he's here, then that means that she must be somewhere. That means they got her, or
I cast
something
Guiding
happened.
Hand,
Guiding hand.
and I will have it guide to
Topsy.
Topsy. Thank you.
2 seconds.
I don't know.
A
what
floating
1,000
hand appears
feet.
and points in the direction of whatever I want it to, location or person.
So it's just like Ding.
Is
It's
it
like
within a certain
that way.
range?
Oh,
or-
isn't it
No,
if
they
it's
just
within a
have to be on
certain?
the same plane.
Oh,
And
okay.
it floats about 10 feet in front of me, I
Hmm.
believe.
No, I need to check the wording of it because there are.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, first off, I don't want to make it too easy for you, but also there's
Oh,
There's the
stuffs and things.
Unearthed Arcana it came from.
Sorry, I got it.
And it's on page 3.
Oh, and
Bill,
for
do you have
what it's
direction
worth-
sense?
Direction sense isn't a thing.
Is it not?
It's World of
Uh,
Darkness.
You're
That's
thinking
direction
World
sense.
of Darkness.
What's the equivalent in D&D?
Survival.
When the hand
Just make a
appears,
survival
you
check.
name one major landmark, such as city, mountain,
So-
castle, or battlefield, on the same plane of existence. Someone in history must have visited the site and mapped it.
Ah, shit.
Otherwise, when you
Sworn it
move
said
toward the
person.
hand, yeah, it's not person. That'd be
Okay.
really overpowered for a first level spell.
Well, shit.
Like
for
really
what it's-
overpowered.
for what it's worth, I am going to sit down and I'm going to begin setting out a little spool along in front of the doorway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be casting alarm as a ritual.
Yep, that's fine. So you.
If
Um,
I'm specifying anyone except for our group is safe to pass through, they're allowed to pinging. If anyone else crosses this line, I will be alerted. If I'm asleep, I'll be woken up.
Yep. So yeah, you throw that down all along the doorway. Are you doing it all around the room or just the doorway?
The doorway's near the entrance, right?
Yeah.
Then just the doorway.
Okay. For what it's worth as well, this is a windowless room. There's no way out beyond the door. So you do that whilst they're talking. Were you doing anything else, Paul?
I'll just say I'll ask for details of what happened because I don't think I actually know what happened with their group.
Hmm.
It was when we met him, and he points at Anwar. I was woken up. Renan and Pepido had got into some sort of fight. If I remember right, I think Pepido got Renan ignited Pepido somehow. Pepido went running off. Shortly after he turned up, I went back to sleep. I was woke up by something, I can't remember what. Me and Stool stepped up to see what was happening with Renan and Anwar, and then the ground opened up and swallowed us. It was too far down for Topsy to follow us, so her and Sarah were going to find another way and meet us, if either en route or here. I guess they knew we were coming here, so it makes sense they'd come here if they couldn't find us on the route. But why is Sarah in the jail, and where's Topsy? And he does look completely agitated by this kind of thing. Like, this is very obviously bothering him, even that insight check.
I just say I'm afraid I can't answer that, but no, I will help you try and find her.
We will do everything we can.
No. It's better for you guys to focus on to focus on the jobs that Dwagar gave you. I don't know what I'll do. Maybe I'll ask around. There seems to be other Swerve Neblin here. Maybe I can ask around the marketplace, see if any of them have spotted out. I'll go about on my own tomorrow. If you lot ignore the captain's, the Black School's requests too much, though, it's just gonna cause more problems.
I dislike the idea of you going about on your own.
He kind of, yeah, he just and kind of says, "Oh, we can't spare too many people. You lot are going to be doing the more dangerous task. I'll stay within the district. I'll stay in busy places."
Can I not convince you to just stay with us just for a while longer? If
If Topsy's here, I need to find her.
I assume we all generally like spell levels and things are a known thing, aren't they? And sort of what spells are in those levels, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like there's categories of spells and such.
Yeah, I'll just say, if I can grow a little more powerful, my deity will allow me a spell that will provide us to communicate across the entirety of this plane, and she could even respond.
So what do you need to? What do you need to do that?
About 3,000 more
I just
experience.
need, I just need more experience.
Mm.
It
That's
is just out of my grasp at the moment.
that's too vague. And
Fight.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's
I'll
for
just be
your
like,
own good.
"So, right, if you want to give me experience, we're just going to have a lot of fist fights for the next day."
If you kill Topsy, you'll have enough XP to level, so you can talk to Turvy.
Other way around.
he just shakes his head and says, "No, me and Topsy survived fine on our own before all of you lot came along. We can. I don't mean. Sorry, I didn't mean that. Like,
I know what you meant.
I'll focus on finding Topsy. I can do it. I can.
I
You can
believe
do
in you.
it.
He roll a persuasion check.
Me?
No, Anwar.
Oh, okay.
Basically, a positive reinforcement check.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah.
I'm helping. 15.
No, he looks at you and his arms folded, guarded expression kind of he lets it slip, or not slip, but he relaxes just a bit and nods and says, "Yeah, I can do it. I can find her. I'm just."
Very well then. Just promise me two things. One, you'll come back here every night, so we know that you're still alright.
Yeah.
Two, if you do find her, and she's in some sort of trouble, please come get us before you do anything.
Roll me a persuasion check. At advantage.
For what it's worth,
I was
how
gonna say,
much
that's
do I
a tough
remember about
one.
what Topsy looks like?
You barely saw her.
Yeah, I figured that would be the
But-
case.
And
19.
Nice.
And unfortunately, the fact that they are basically identical twins has meant that the few things you saw about her, now whenever you try and think of her, you just picture Turvy. Like it's hard to remember the specific differences because they were, they were that close looking. They did that close appearance.
So, not 20, which becomes a 19 because -1.
He nods and says, and he kind of looks at you, and says, "Yeah. I'm not going to go. Don't worry, I'm not going to go running off doing anything stupid. I know.
So,
I know you
I'll
wouldn't.
come get you.
I mean, who are you taking him for? Anwar? No.
I say I know you wouldn't.
He actually
but
chuckles.
I also say I know she's your sister, and you would do anything to get her back.
Just as she would me.
Quite.
All right.
I shall let you
But
both
she's
sleep.
not here now.
He nods, and he goes to take out the bedroll that he's been using as he's been traveling through the Underdark and sets that on the floor, seemingly just silently indicating that Anwar is free to take the bed.
Oh,
I proceed to leave the room and take
Okay.
Stool with me.
Stool waddles after you. Actually, no. By this point, you kind of go to take Stool out of you. You kind of just prod him to kind of gesture for him to follow you, and you turn. He's like cap down, completely to the floor, completely still.
Oh no, he's dead!
Like, I take that.
He's got into power save mode. God.
This is the same stance he tends to take when he sleeps.
I just kind of say to Anwar, looks like the little one's staying with you tonight.
Very well. And I'm going to turn
Perhaps
to
for the best.
I'm going to turn to Toby and say, you take the bed. If you're going to be going out alone, you're going to need the rest a lot more than I am.
He looks at the bed, then kind of sheepishly grins and says, "I don't think that bed's going to offer much more comfort than a bedroll on the rock."
Can confirm it hurts your face.
But it didn't hurt your face.
It only hurt you because you literally went onto
But it didn't hurt
But
him
it
because
didn't.
he was
I'm wearing
armor.
heavy armor.
For touche.
I'll head back to my room then.
More
Alright.
comfortable in the armor.
You just dented the mattress, that's all.
And I shall
Kamar shakes.
Oh,
Sorry,
right.
that's the image in my head now.
I shall lock the door behind me.
Okay.
Yeah.
As in my
Your
room
door.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll lock the door to our room, and then whatever we decide to do, we'll set up and get ready to sort of leave. And I've got something I'm going to want to give Turvey before he leaves in the morning.
All right. Well, for now, since you all and you get to your room as well, I will say, Cabal,
Okay.
and it is just one bed.
That's
Again,
fine.
it's bed, chest, oil lantern.
That's
nothing
fine.
else.
I don't need a bed.
You just perch.
I will say before I go to sleep,
Mhm.
I'm going to. I don't know how this would work because I technically have to do this at the end of a short rest. But can I use my channel divinity thing that lets me forge things before I take the long rest?
What are you forging out of? You need to, if I'm right, you need to transmute metal, don't you?
I either need metal or gold or something,
Yeah.
or the equivalent currency. So I take out like a gold.
For a shield.
I'm not going for the shield.
Oh, you're not. Sorry. What
No,
are you
I'm
doing?
going for the holy symbol.
Okay. Are you doing
I'll
it?
just make like a. So you actually have to hold the holy symbol when you cast spells, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I make something which sort of, I don't know, like you slip it? I can't think. What
Could you make
call
a
it. One of
ring?
those
Like a
things you
ring
slip on
or
not quite a ring necessarily, but sort of like a ring that
like a signet ring?
holds it there.
Oh no, I get your meaning. Yeah.
Okay.
Or
Just-
something that I can just I can have it on me and just sort of, if needed, I can hide it almost.
You want to
I
think like a ring with a symbol that you're kind of wearing backwards.
I would say the complexity of the design would require more than one gold. It'd probably be
Well, holy symbols are only 15.
holy symbols are. However, that's not. Holy symbol is just a
Sorry, yes.
bit of wood with a symbol carved into it. This is a mixture of a ring and a holy symbol. I'd say.
Or it's the like, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of something that's easily hidden, but still easy to use. Because I know,
What
like,
about a
Kamal's got his
necklace?
necklace, but
Well, you could use
would-
the
I don't know.
gold for
I
the
would
symbol
say
itself, then
that's-
copper for the extra metal, couldn't you?
Oh well, bear in mind, it's not just if you're using coins, it's not based on metal. It's based on the currency of the coins, so the cost. So I will say that for 5 gold, you could do the thing where you could basically convert 5 gold into an iron thing over your hand that you could wear over your hand, but it wouldn't.
Although-
it would be a little more than 1.
You
gold.
only have one hand.
I have 2
Does
hands.
that mean? No, did you fix your hand?
He's got 2
No,
hands.
I've
One of
still
them's just
got
injured.
hands, it's
One of them
just-
has a crack down to the wrist.
Right. Okay. I was
So
gonna
actually,
say
yeah,
like,
I could say I
Ho-
could
he-
build that hand.
but
That
hold
wouldn't
it
cause
to-
any
hold
issues
it together.
necessarily, would it?
melt the metal into the palm crack.
If you you realize, roll me a medicine check.
is it medicine or craft to heal him?
I was literally just thinking that.
6.
You're not good at rolls today.
I wasn't last week either.
I know.
Ah,
Just not
This
good
is-
at rolls.
It's a simple
He's
enough
got
thing,
some good
actually.
rolls today.
You're looking at your hands. You just have the sudden thought. If you put it on your injured hand, you could put it around the 2 fingers around the crack. It'd hold them together. Like it'd mean you'd have it around 2 fingers, which would make that a bit awkward. But
Well, I mean, I'm already rolling a disadvantage on that hand anyway.
basically,
So,
mechanically, it wouldn't give you any benefit. But like
yeah,
in wise that it might stop the pain, like, or at least
it would
dim
be
the pain if it's
something
held
kind
together.
of.
Yeah, like
An ad hoc splint, as it were.
yeah, basically. You need to make it tight, but you could do that the way you do it.
I'll do that.
Okay.
Then. So I'll spend an hour doing that. So 5 gold was it?
Yep. Are you doing anything special while you do that, or?
That's literally my channel divinity thing. So it's
Yeah.
like an hour-long ritual. But
Alright.
I will basically have it so I'm facing the door, even though I've locked it, just to make sure.
Okay.
I'm going to be just working on things as well. Just things.
Okay, I'll get to you in a second then. But Cobalt, in that case, you kind of put the coins in your hand
Excuse
and
me.
actually just kind of hover your other palm over them, focus for a good hour as they just glow red hot, like to the point where after about half an hour, they've gone full on. They've gone from gold to just bright red. And by the time the hour is finished, that bright red substance
This new
has just kind
microphone
of
position
squished
is really
down
awkward
to
because
make a
the
very
other one you could like move it out of the way, whereas this one's just like in
very-
your face the whole time.
it's not going to win any art prizes, but it's there and it works. It does slip tightly over your fingers, actually holding it together and dimming the pain of your hand, which has been paining you ever since. Because it is, again, it's a crack down your full hand.
If you were to present that at a child's art fair, you get a you took part medal.
The point is, my thinking there is, at the very least, I can sort of just close my hand and cover it up if needed.
Yeah, yes, you very much could. Matt, what are you doing? You just
generally tinkering on a couple of things.
All right. I believe I know what you're getting on about there, so you don't need any rolls or anything. You're just basically messing around with things.
Yeah.
With that, since our characters are taking a break, I think this is a good time for us to take a break.
Well then,
Lou.
Cool.
if you now need a bathroom break or to go get a drink, now is the time.
I'm going to hold off.
Hey,
So
Phil.
could I.
So brief
You
break,
for
break
coffee?
time.
You for coffee? You for coffee?
No,
I'm
you
not
fuck
getting
off.
Oh god, there we go.
Actually, no,
So give us 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll be back soon.
Same with a
Who
lot of
was the
people.
second best Doctor?
He was probably my favourite
And
Doctor. Matt
we
Smith was.
are back.
David Tennant.
I prefer Matt Smith. Anyway,
I have a point I can make that will derail the entire conversation about Doctor Who.
Go on.
Oh god, here we are.
Well, it's like most people who say David Tennant was the best Doctor, they're not really Doctor Who fans. They're not a fan of his Doctor. They're just a fan of David Tennant because
That's the
his
fir- that-
acting is great, but his Doctor's pretty bland.
That was the
Like
first.
we
that
were
was the
like,
first
right,
thing I
okay,
saw
now
him.
we're all back. Right, let's
Yeah,
get
no,
back to the
I would-
actual D&D
I would
part,
disagree with that.
and then
But I've always
instantly
thought
we
Matt
go
Smith's
back
best
to
'cause his
something
relationship
else.
with Rory and Amy is the best.
This
Is
is what
the
I'm saying.
best
Like most
bet
other
storyline.
Doctors, including the
D&D?
most recent one.
So
This is what I'm
anyone?
saying. I'm derailing it.
Laurie is right. We should probably get back to the D&D.
But
Unless
I was
everyone wants to
derailing.
talk Doctor Who because it is annoying to it is fun to annoy Laurie.
It's exactly why I was doing it.
Good.
But let's switch the
It's
conversation.
fun not streaming this anymore. I get to be the dick.
I am
Let's
streaming
switch
it. I love being the dick.
Let's switch the conversation over to Doctor Y and Doctor How.
So,
Doctor Where?
How about
Doctor
Doctor
Who?
No? Good
follow-
film,
Yeah,
James
but,
Bond,
you know.
I love James
Bond.
Bond.
So, James Bond. Who's your favourite James Bond?
Honestly, I think I'm coming around to Daniel Craig. I think I am.
James Bond just sucks in general. Anyway,
No.
D&D.
Get out of this conversation.
All right.
Yay, he's gone.
Yeah.
No, he
Yay.
literally left and just
I
ruined all.
can DM
Yeah,
now.
I got bored and came back.
that really
Anyway.
messes up my stream for like a few seconds. God damn it.
I know it does.
Added
Fortunately,
benefit.
I also know that it'll go exactly into back into the same position, so I don't worry about doing it. Anyway, so you all wake up the following morning. Anwar, when you wake up, you notice that Anwar has gone already.
Wait.
Bearing in mind that
I've gone
Hang on.
Alright,
You may want to
you're like
rethink
flying
that
to
just a
the right.
moment.
Turvey is gone already. Bearing in mind
That makes
you
more
were up
sense.
tinkering whilst he was
Okay.
sleeping, so he'll have got to
I
sleep quickly.
told him I had something to give him before he left.
Did you just told me that you had something to give him? You did say that you told him that. I will. Did you? Would you have actually kind of?
I would have,
mentioned it?
yeah.
He just at that point rewind to that last night. He says, I was gonna go as soon as I woke up. What is it?
It's just something in case. It's just call it a little kind of backup. It's just something to help heal you if you got into any trouble.
Can I have it now or?
Unfortunately, no. Its potency wears off after some time, and it would most likely be gone by the time you leave tomorrow.
All right. I'll wake you up before I go then, if that's all right.
Certainly.
Before he
And with that,
goes.
night goes on. Fast forward to about
He wants it to
an
heal
hour
him.
previous to
If time
when you would have got
passes,
up.
no.
You are shaken awake by Turvey, who says, "Sorry, Anwar. You said you had something."
So I'm just going to take out. I'll say like a
Crackle
piece of parchment for now because I don't really have much else, like nondescript stuff on me.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to stand there for just a minute and just channel a spell into it and just hand it to him.
Mhm.
It just looks like an ordinary piece of parchment, but if you need to, if you get into any sort of trouble, it's good for a one-time heal.
He looks at it a bit confused, but then he kind of puts his pocket. And you do notice, as you actually cast a spell into it, the parchment itself kind of shrivels a little and rolls up, almost like a roll of bandages. It kind of gives you that impression.
Okay, so he basically,
He's
we'll
got a heal.
say for all intents and purposes, he unrolls it to heal. It's an action. It's an action to use.
That works.
But that has a cure wounds stored in it now.
Of what level?
It's just a first level
Just
cure
first level.
wounds. I can't cast second level spells yet.
Fair enough. I don't know artificers well. He takes it off you, pockets it, and says his thanks before leaving the room and heading off. You've not finished your long rest yet, so I'm assuming you just kind of collapse back into
Yeah.
bed, especially
Yeah.
after the long day.
Yeah, and that's definitely not going to get that spell slot back.
You do wake up the following morning, however, and you do have the long rest, and minus that spells.
Yeah.
You've got all your other spell slots. The rest of you all start waking up as well.
Alrighty.
Unless somebody's got anything to do in the room specifically, we'll say you all gather in the canteen area.
I don't wake up unless somebody actively wakes me up.
Point blank, shoot him in the face.
I
Would
mean,
you bother
I
waking
doubt
up
that
at
would
all?
wake me up. I guess that would probably kill me. But yeah,
if he's sleeping, given I know the state he was in, I would probably just leave him.
Which brings me to my next question: of do I heal any exhaustion from this?
Yes.
Because I
Point,
have two
actually.
levels of it.
You
Heal some of
one
the damage I
exhaustion.
took from yesterday from being
Hooray.
punched in the face.
No, I only have disadvantage on ability checks.
We'll say then,
boy.
everybody gathers in the canteen area. About 45 minutes after this pass, and Kamar, you are suddenly awoken as you clatter from the bed to the floor, just seemingly having rolled out of bed in your discomfort. It seems that you basically got to the point where you're getting ready to wake up, so you're going into that light sleep, and you're starting to move around and get ready, and you just happen with all your heavy armor on to fall out of the bed and go straight onto the floor.
I spring to my feet and draw my sword, since clearly I've been attacked.
Stormbringer lights up the room, and you hear a sigh of relief
Take this, gravity!
as the darkness is lifted.
I probably
I-
would have had the light on, what it's worth.
The oil lantern.
Yeah.
I didn't extinguish it, so
We still hear a sigh of relief because Stormbringer still likes
Oh, that's
glowing.
fine, I'm just saying. Like,
She
wouldn't
likes
be
it when you
really
hold
dark.
her.
Fair enough.
she sure does. So yeah, I look around the room for my attacker.
There's nobody there.
Dwaygo are invisible, you know.
They are perception. Where are the invisible?
Perception.
Where are the
Perception,
invisible targets?
whirlwind attack.
roll
Come on,
perception
get to
check.
it, man.
Roll an
Is this-
investigation check, sorry.
I was gonna say does this come under passive perception, but probably not if it's investigation. Oh,
If
cool,
you
it
accidentally
might-
Good
It's
moment when you
very
notice
passive.
there's actually a
Oh shit! It's my first roll of the night, people.
dent in
See
your
how it
wall.
goes.
What the hell?
At disadvantage.
Well then. Oh,
Yep, seems
What?
about right.
Never mind.
Perfect.
No need to roll
Well
at
then.
disadvantage.
that's you
know
in a
what?
nutshell, isn't it?
Disadvantage.
You
It would have been better.
kind of start slowly turning around, examining every corner. And then you see a shine out of the corner of your eye. And immediately your battle instincts all kick in, and you spin, swing Dawnbringer, and chop the oil lantern in half, dropping the oil to the floor.
Phil,
Does
didn't
it?
you say the
No.
old lantern was on?
Yeah.
I sure did.
Oh
doesn't it-
no!
Does it ignite?
It's starting to ignite. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of flame that's...
You just started an oil fire in the fucking inn.
Fortunately, this entire room is made of stone, except for that mattress.
Oh, thank
Um,
God.
You slept
I'm-
on.
Wait, the mattress wasn't stone?
The mattress
No,
wasn't
just
stone.
very
the bed
uncomfortable.
Was. The mattress was very uncomfortable.
I have a
There is
question.
also-
Does
Well,
the
that was a
fire
close one,
travel
wasn't
up
it?
the oil into wherever the oil's coming from and cause the entire building to go up?
No, it's basically like think of it as the bottom of the oil lantern has just been chopped in half, so it's just a puddle of oil on the floor. There's no leaking oil.
So there's no sort of source of oil. It's just someone had put oil. Someone
Yeah, it's like there's a puddle of oil.
Okay.
I pick
there
up
is
the
also
mattress.
The Zerkwood chest, for what it's worth, a chest made out of some kind of fungal bark.
Well, I pick up the mattress and then start trying to like smother the flames with the mattress.
Roll a dexterity check.
Oh boy,
Oh god, you're not staying here anymore.
dexterity, you say?
Mm-hmm.
+1 for me.
Phil,
Hmm.
weren't we supposed to be keeping an eye on him to make sure he didn't get into any trouble?
He was asleep when I left.
And he's
Seven-
caused-
Hey, there we
he's caused
go.
He's caused an oil fire in a room.
He sure has.
A room made of stone, so it ain't gonna spread.
That's what you think. I'm currently fanning the flames.
you bring the mattress over your head, and just as you're about to bring it down, you have that realization. No, that'd probably be a bad thing. That would just splatter it everywhere. So you kind of drop it so it's all in front of you, and just fall completely, embedding the flames beneath the mattress, and you above that,
Right.
completely cutting off.
Oh
the air,
right,
and seemingly putting it
because
completely
for a moment
out.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh no, if I put the mattress on the fire, the mattress is flammable. I'm gonna put me on the fire because I'm
no.
not flammable. I was like, what on a 17?
heal
What the
myself.
fuck? You already
This is
rolled a
fine.
0 earlier.
He's just using his weight to ensure that the entirety of the air is cut off, basically.
I think his brain's cut off with a freaking response like that. But all right.
I do have a -1 to my
His
intelligence.
brain is cut off. Have you not been here this entire time?
This-
His brain is the most cut off thing ever.
This description was
Oh
tailored
my
for
god.
Yep.
You bring.
Like, I've never claimed to be a smart man.
Day
I have
1 of
punched people
5
for
at the
implying I was
inn.
not there.
Disaster has struck because
Yeah,
Kamar
it's
has
a D&D
gotten
party
awake.
in an inn. Of course, disaster strikes.
You bring the mattress up and kind of look down at the ground. It's actually cleaned up a lot of the oil as well, putting
All he did was wake up.
the fire out.
That was it.
And also
He
most
woke
of the
up.
glass, as you can look and see that most of the glass from the lantern is just embedded in the bottom of the mattress.
Put it back on the bed. No one will notice.
I do put it back on the bed.
The other
And,
way around. Smart thinking.
I didn't say that. I sheathe my sword again, and I go out to the front desk area.
Roll me
Right.
a dexterity save at advantage.
At advantage.
Hello, I would like to.
I'm solely doing this summer deck, just as a heads up.
11.
11. So you go out the door, but bearing in mind the oil lantern was next to the door, so all the oil is basically spilled onto the floor in front of the doorway. You kind of go out and just kind of skid out of the doorway, keeping your feet with that save.
So what you're saying
You just
is,
kind of look around.
I
No,
slide
no,
into reception.
No, you slide into the corridor. The reception's a little distance away.
That is a
But
stylish way to actually, enter the room. I'll give him that.
You just, unfortunately, you kind of look around, but nobody else around to see that.
Oh, god damn it.
50% of being a good hero is looking good while you do it.
You shut the door behind you. And
Shut the door behind me.
Yeah.
When I get to reception, I put a gold on the counter and say, "Don't ask."
You put the gold on the counter. The woman again is up. She just she's still scribbling in that book.
Yeah.
She looks at the gold, looks back at you and says, "Take the fucking gold off my counter."
All right, I offered. I'll take it back.
Okay. As he moves into this room, I'd just like to mention that Renlin, Cabal, and Anwar, you all notice the oily footprints being left behind.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, I actually say the words, "All right, I offered," and then put the gold back in the pouch.
I have an
She
important
goes back to
question.
writing.
Do we have our breakfast at this point?
At this point, you guys have already eaten. You're kind of just waiting on Kamar at this point, like.
Yeah.
I would once again just be keeping an eye out.
I'll turn to Cobalt and say, well, weren't you supposed to be keeping an eye on him? It seems the most dangerous thing he's done today is wake up.
So far.
Legitimately true.
So far.
He was asleep when I left.
How hungover is Stool at the moment?
Still seems fine. He wasn't particularly drunk yesterday. He was just seemed to have the telepathic hiccups. Apparently, he doesn't. He just kind of sat at the table with you lot, kind of having eaten his breakfast. And by the way, with your breakfast, you all assuming you asked for drinks and such, you were all given Dark Lake Stouts. It doesn't seem like they actually do water here. It doesn't seem like they do any other beverage other than this Dark Lake Stout.
Probably because the water's actually just
create water.
bad to drink.
Are you doing that?
Why would you want to create water? We've got Dark Lake Stout.
Not here, I won't, but I will just say I can create water
There we
for
go.
us at
Sorry
some
about
point.
But we've got Dark Lake Stout.
See, now I can actually,
Yeah.
rest my hand on my
It's
chin.
like-
If you wish.
It's not the nicest of drinks. It's basically a beer brewed from fungal extracts. So it's a
So
not
basically,
the nicest thing.
what you're saying is this is the alcoholic version of mushroom tea.
Hey Connor, how's it going?
Yes. Also
So-
cold.
Is it magical?
No.
Damn.
But yes, you all by now. Kamar has appeared.
You've just missed the disastrous moment of our paladin
She
actually
does see you and,
waking
she
up
says,
and then accidentally knocking an oil
breakfast.
lantern over and almost setting the inn
yes,
on
no,
fire.
tell me.
Yes.
It's alright, he didn't set it on
She's
fire,
good,
but
scribbling.
close.
And ignores you.
I
Wow, rude.
Hey, if you actually
take a
have
moment to
a Burger King foot lettuce, then yeah, good on you.
absorb the displeasure, and then go to the table and sit down in a much better mood than I was yesterday. Still quite battered and bruised.
For what it's worth, it's the only other patrons in at this point is the same Smurf Neblin from the night previous, who actually by the time Kamar gets up has already got up and wandered out, and a group of freed Wagar that were also here the previous night, not the ones that Kamar was sat next to. Kamar sits next to the rest of you. Shortly after he sits down, like pretty much the second his butt hits the bench, the door behind the counter opens, a tray comes out of a single ball of gruel and a flagon of dark mixed stout.
What's happening right now? We're all staying in the inn.
Shouts at you. Breakfast.
We'll be staying there for 5 nights at the town of Gracklester.
I
underground.
go over and take it.
Hundreds and hundreds of miles underground. We have some missions to do.
Like, as he actually gets up to go take it, I just breathe.
It's a long story. It's session 20 in a very long campaign.
There's still oil on his boots. He just kind of
so you have a lot of catching up to do, but that's the short of it.
Steadily towards the counter.
As I take it, even though she's not looking at me, just very childishly go like, yeah. And then just go back to her seat, start eating my food.
Okay.
Keeping an ear out. What's everyone else talking about? If I can hear anything.
Perception check. The only other group in this room at the moment is the 3 Dwagar.
Well, shit. I bet I can hear what they're talking about. I don't speak Dwarven.
They are talking in Dwarven.
Yeah.
Are they talking in Dwarven or Undercommon?
Dwarven.
I mean, if you tell me what they say, I can tell you exactly what it means.
Yes, this is something called map tools, which is something we use for all our online D&D stuff.
You don't tend to want to speak it out
so
loud.
usually,
I'm just saying,
you would play it like this, and of course, you know, you've got all your ranges and stuff like that on here.
Then
I mean, when we're moving around the city, the reason why this character is actually so big is so we can actually decide where we're going to move around the city to do various things. So it's pretty good. You should check it out if you actually play D&D.
Is anybody else?
I prefer playing it like face to face, but
whilst you're eating.
The one thing I will say is I know we're meant to be going off and doing an investigation and all this sort of thing, but while we're here, you know, I don't know if we'll ever get another opportunity to go to a Dwagar city. I would quite like to look at the bazaar.
I do require to buy a shield.
We've got an actual good reason to go to the bazaar. There we go.
And one thing these dwarves are good at is one of the things they're good for, I should say, is arms and armaments. I would not mind finding some new armor. This one is getting quite seen some good use.
Very well. I can always ask around in the merchants for various inquiries for our missions.
I will say as well, as Mike just kind of suggested that. You guys kind of
that is a good question.
With the exception of Anwar, who's using his own equipment.
The dumb one is Kamar, the paladin.
Materials and stuff to keep it.
The ugly one is Anwar.
Whetstones or
the not entirely sure what class he is. He's kind of a mixture.
Divinity thing. That only works for so much until it just gets exhausting. Like, you've got a lot of gear.
The smart one.
I know, I'm more just saying.
I think the smart one is Cobalt, the Warforged Druid. Not Warforged Druid, the Warforged Cleric.
Mine and perhaps Flint's as well.
As for what my character is, he's kind of a mixture of all three.
There's still shoddy parts of it. Like, it's not
dwarves, yeah. Dwagar is a type of dwarf, underground dwarf.
For the most part, you've kept it. At least the armor and the weaponry.
As for the bazaar, I think it's actually
like your shield
here.
was immaculate before you had to throw it away, unfortunately, as is your armor for the most part. Your mace is a little worn.
I've not really done anything on the mace anyway, so
Beanie,
I'm not too concerned.
The bazaar was somewhere we actually walked through on the way to the prisons, wasn't it?
I do believe
this whole thing is
this whole area, yeah.
The Blade Bazaar is the area we're in at the moment.
No, the area you're in at the moment is the Dark Lake District. The Blade Bazaar is this area here.
Oh, just that little area there?
Just that little bit there, right.
Okay, I had that Gorgon's lair was in the Blade Bazaar.
No, it'd actually be this full street here, so to speak. So it is quite a big part of the Dark Lake District, and you're all right, you did pass through it, but the actual full Dark Lake District
just making notes.
Encompasses that as well as other things.
God,
so
I can't write with a mouse.
So Cobalt's stuff is fairly good, but everybody else's stuff is looking shabby. So even if you can't replace them, you might want to just buy the basics of.
It's a long street, so
whetstones and stuff just to keep them in order.
Having fun there. Whoever's doing that.
Yep.
I think that's hilarious.
It's a long street.
Like,
And
it's
for
a
the-
very strange place. You could say it's quite bizarre.
For the sake of pointing out as well, all magical equipment is obviously immaculate. Like, magical equipment is very resistant.
Does magical equipment just not degrade?
Basically, yeah.
Well, okay then.
That's basically one of the hallmarks of something's magical. Is that it's been somewhere for like thousands of years, yet it's immaculate.
Makes
It's
sense.
why-
The thing is that because we're in
ancient
a Dwegar
civilizations,
city,
it's
it's
still
a very,
one of those
very
cities.
I don't know. The blade's falling off
serious
this
city
sword
where
I'm holding.
everything's
As soon
everything's
as
to
you
the
s- as
point.
soon as you
Everything's
say
very
that,
serious.
kind of,
Everything's
can I?
like they don't really do fancy around here. They just do very
Fancy.
well made stuff. Everything is
Bad.
made because it has to be made for a
You
reason
suddenly
and things
feel
like that.
Very
And
depressed,
everyone
then
who isn't a
realise it's actually
Dwegar is kind of an
emotionally put-
inferior race, and
yeah.
it's just kind of
Not forced on you, but
Eh.
shared to you.
Don't
like you
Can
guys
I
around
force
here.
it?
Emotions on me.
and
Oh, God,
yeah,
she's
we're in
got a
the
gun
we're
off
in
a
the
Hitchhiker's
Underdark.
Guide.
She is that good.
I suggest you Google Underdark because it's got a long description.
I'm
So
horribly depressed.
to take.
I think I watched them in the last few years. And it didn't
Why
look
bother?
like what I remembered. The
If
CV
you just
show,
Google Underdark
Yeah,
for D&D,
like, everything
that's going to
above
give you a
the
really
film
good
is
description of
better, but the
exactly where
film's
we
still
are.
good.
the film is still good.
So it is a very big place.
But anyway,
It's
so,
bigger than above ground, technically.
Kamara's eating his breakfast, drunk his stout. What are you doing?
To the bazaar!
Ah,
Why are you saying it like that?
I was just reading it off this map.
You've got a map? Where'd you
Yes.
get a map?
Actually, we
Idiot.
do have a
In my
map.
head.
We do
It's in
actually
my-
have a
you
map.
wrote that note while drunk last night.
So if the map's in your head, why are you calling it the bazaar?
Because that's what I've written it down as in my head.
Why?
It was last night. I was tired.
I'm drunk.
And
He's
distracted.
Underdark
Wow.
like Russia.
No, I'm not
Um,
tired now, but it's already been written there. I can't just erase it.
I mean,
have mind
vodka's in the
map eraser.
Underdark.
God.
That is a thing that is
Stand
there,
up and
but
walk out.
I don't really know
I
why you'd say it's
I
like
follow.
Russia.
Strolls
Because
out,
Russia's
stood
above
his back
ground.
behind
The
him.
Underdark is
I
underground.
followed Kamar.
Um,
I
I also head
follow,
outside.
I guess.
No,
can't-
I walked away to
I
get
locked
away
the
from this
door- I made
conversation.
sure Kamal locked the door.
Oh God, no. Oh, come
you,
on,
you,
Max, I'm
you're actually
religious.
going to go back to the room.
I mean, I'm going to make sure he's locked the door, sure.
If you're
So-
asking me if I locked the door, I say no.
You head back to the room, test it, and it does. It comes open.
Oh.
And as soon as you open it, you see just a pool of black.
Just like this smell of burning, I assume as well.
I locked the door.
There's definitely acrid smoke. You lock the door. It's still noticeable underneath the door, but actually no.
Is the black oil still seeping out through the gap underneath the door, or
No, I was just going to correct myself there. The actual heavy, thick stone door does block the door frame entirely, and so there isn't actually
Ah.
anything seeping underneath. It's not given the room to.
Oh wow! perfectly
Everything's well made
flush
around
with
here.
with the thing. That is fine.
apart
wood
from the
craftsmanship.
food is a bit shit.
It's
Yeah.
dwarves. It's what they do.
They make pillars and bridges, and that's it.
They're very
And
good at
doors. God damn, give credit for that.
City
So-
infrastructure is what they do.
The party groups up and heading towards the Blade Bazaar.
I have this thing called
If they
dark
don't sell
vision.
blades
So
here,
do a
I'm
lot of
gonna
other
sue for false
creatures
advertising.
down here. The only person around here who doesn't is the one person who is a human.
As you get
However, there are also lots
you
of
notice
torches
you
and
kind of
things
walk
around here.
through
Hang
it
on,
is-
let me.
there's a few buildings set aside with actual internal stores.
That's
and
basically
such,
what it
all
looks
of
like
which
under
seem
here.
to be Dwegar run. But there is also a lot of stalls and stuff, and wagons and other caravans, all
It's basically what this
of
place
odd
looks
foreign
like.
designed
But yeah,
to
there's
move
a
between
lot of
caravans
light
sometimes,
under
as
here
opposed to the
for
biological
various
caravans you guys
reasons.
are used
But
to above
yeah,
the surface. But they all seem to be run by, in majority, by non-Dwegar. You do see Swerf Neblin, you do see Drow, you see a few orcs or half-orcs. You even see a few gnolls, the dog-like humanoid creatures.
No.
Oh, yeah, hyena people.
I say,
Uh,
how you doing, Beyonce?
And you do notice, for the most
No
part,
one. All right.
at least about 80% of the Dwegar run stuff is weaponry. Like, there is a reason it's called the Blade Bazaar. It seems to be their expertise, so to speak.
It's when we go there, and every single one of these things is a hammer.
It's like,
It's
yeah, I
there's
just,
no
I just,
blades,
like,
sir.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't being lied to, you know?
No, there
That's
is
all
a
I want.
lot of them. There's a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
It's all just... it's almost the equivalent of mass produced in the look of it. Like there's no decoration. It is just. It's likely that there's just a bunch of Dwagar blacksmiths told make swords, and they just make it to the blueprints exact, no differences, onto the pile.
No flourish, no style, just fine craftsmanship.
Basically, yeah. And they are all well made. None of them are kind of masterwork or anything as far as you can tell, but you've not really... Like, this is just window shopping as you go by.
I don't think there are any slaves down here, but...
Look for a shield.
Everyone has a particular job, and that's their thing to do. When they're born, they're basically given a task, they're then trained to do it, and then that's the thing that they basically do for the rest of their life.
You can see
they're basically trained to do it their entire life because they have to be the best at it, because that's why they were born, because we need X amount of these things, so we'll train you to do it, therefore you become this. That's how the Dwagar work.
Kind of banging hard. Seemingly slamming the ham.
Hot.
You're just going to struggle with the rest of this sentence now, aren't you?
Each of them has a Dwagar smithing away. Yeah.
Hot?
They all sweating.
Some shit.
And there is another Dwagar kind of walking past them. He seems to be...
He seems to be
apprenticing them.
Yeah.
Tutoring them. Yeah. He's walking back and forth, almost militaristically, like shouting at them in Dwarven. He sees one of them.
Oh yeah, we've been playing D&D since like. Well, some of us have been playing D&D. I've been playing D&D with Beanie since
hammering away again, being much more
2009, maybe 2008, maybe as early as that. It's a long time. So
that's racist.
We've been playing D&D, Pathfinder, all sorts of things. We've played so many games. We've got so many stories we keep referring back to. So we've got so many in jokes. So a lot of things we'll refer to that you might not get. So that's probably what it's going to be.
For the sake of having a furnace and all the fumes and stuff more vented than in the actual internal area.
I go into the shop area, I guess.
Okay.
I will follow.
And immediately locate the person whom I should be talking to. And if I can't see who that is, I will shout, "I require an armor smith."
Yeah, 2 seconds.
As he does that, I'm just gonna lightly tap on him.
Boing. Is
that on Kamar? Oh, god.
Yeah.
So
on the armor smith. Boop.
You walk into the shop. The actual internal of the shop. You can see there is several armor stands with various types of metal armor kind of advertised on them. You can also see a few crates behind each of these in which it seems that pieces of armor have been placed.
See, this is my concern though. I'm assuming, because it is a Dwagar city, I'm assuming these are all dwarf-shaped.
Strangely, no. There are dwarven-shaped armors, but of each armor type, there is actually multiple armor stands with different kind of shapes, I guess. They're all humanoid, but there is one for small creatures, although there's only a few of those. Like, not every armor type has that. And there's a few for both bigger than dwarfs and then bigger than dwarfs and also broad. So,
is there any that are Kamar shaped?
Yeah, you think you could see some armor that's your shape?
There's in fact an exact replica of Kamar.
Oh, well, damn.
You can also see on the left, on one wall, there is just a ton of shields just hung up.
What do you mean exactly by roleplay based players? We don't go like 100% serious. But you know, we do play our characters to a certain extent, yeah.
Smithing tools myself.
Mm-hmm.
I examine the shields.
As someone with
roll a wisdom plus proficiency.
As someone with absolutely no experience,
we also don't like
whatsoever,
go complete pissing around either. So
there is.
God damn it, Phil! Roll better.
Yeah.
That's with a +4, can I say?
Yeah, roll better.
Shut up, Mike, Mr. Zero.
They look like shields.
That was 1-0. I've rolled below 10 basically the past 2 weeks.
Really you've rolled below 5 half the time.
You've had one good roll tonight.
Yeah,
I did actually.
Kamar, as Cobalt is kind of scratching his head, looking at these shields, really trying to look into
The
them,
thing
they're just
about
so plain
this
and
story
they're not
is
used to well-crafted
we all got
stuff,
arrested
having
right at the
patterns and
beginning of this
stuff in order to
story
go
and
improve
taken
dexterity
hundreds of
on
miles
stuff.
underground
This is just-
into the Underdark.
It's a square
We're
of
all trying to
iron.
get back
Like,
to the
The
surface, and that's
mediocrity
not
hurts your
easy.
eyes.
Because we don't know how to do it. We all need the
Come on,
resources
you
to get
step
there.
up.
We're not
So
great
bland.
travelers.
There is a counter.
And we've got to
where-
find
Why
our
do
way
you
up. So
beige?
the villain is
there a
basically
Dwagar kind of polishing
nature
away
and everything
at,
in it.
Oh my.
And right now we're
Right.
trapped in
attempting
this
to seemingly
this
attempting to
city.
get
So
away,
our
soon
current
as
objective
Not
is
he sees
get
you
out.
approach, kind of claps
But
his
we
hands,
can't
drops the
because
shield to the
the
counter,
guards won't let
says,
us. So
"What
there's
do you
two
need? What
jobs
do
we
you
have
want?"
to do.
Plate
Armor,
armor.
shields.
There's a particular person we have to
Plate armor.
find and
Plate
possibly
armor.
kill.
We can do that. We can do that.
And we'll
Walks
have
around
to
there. Follow
fix
me,
some of the
follow me.
corruption
Steps
among
over
the
there, kind of
guards.
steps back.
Once we do that, they'll then let us leave.
Well, I
He's
say
act-
it in
he's actually
Dwarvish.
speaking in
And then we
Dwarvish.
can continue our way to the surface.
Okay,
Oh,
that
but
could
you're
go.
As
saying
far
that
as
in-
the villain's name,
in
well,
Dwarven, so I wouldn't-
there's
If
also
it
a
was
huge
spoken
type of
first,
demon
then I
called
would match the
a
language, yeah.
Demogorgon.
You
Type
get
this
the
for you.
drift that they're not going. Like, they're going to speak the
Demogorgon,
common
I
language
think it
that
is.
Dwarven
I
speaks,
just kind of
in this area.
lean
In fact, you know what?
towards Kamar and just quietly
Can I actually
whisper
just
into his ear,
show you one?
That's really expensive. Do you actually
No.
have the money for
Ah,
that?
he's hidden it for me.
I have no concept of how expensive this is.
Thing is about
Full plate's
getting a
about
boat
15
is that it only
gold.
goes so
Yeah.
far because boats don't fly
I'm not even
upwards
saying-
and
I don't have enough
water
for the
doesn't go
chainmail, I'm guessing.
upwards
Chainmail,
either.
I don't think chainmail's too bad. I think
So-
basically every other piece of armor is under 100 gold.
But yeah,
I think
type in
yeah,
Demogorgon
25.
into Google Images. That's a
steps up
potential
to an
villain
area
in this
where there's,
story, so...
multiple armor stands
Also,
kind of
drills
set
go
out,
down. We don't want to go
each
down, we go
with,
up.
full plate armor kind of rattled onto them. Again, all just black iron, no emblazons, no decoration, just armor.
That's what I want.
He kind of looks at you, looks back at them, looks at you, points at an armor stand that you think could probably fit, like the armor on which could probably fit you. Points to that and says, "All right, that set fit you. That'll be 76,000 gold."
I was sorry, what?
That-
Did he actually just say 76,000?
He did just say 76,000 gold.
Because that's excessive even for
I
like,
turned and
regular
looked at
plate
this
armor.
full plate. That is apparently 76,000.
Yeah,
That's a 3,000% markup.
Yeah, I
It
was
is.
expecting in the range of like 1,500 and still say, obviously, I don't have enough. That's where I was expecting this to go. But that's excessive.
Cobalt, you look at the armor, and again, it offends you. It legitimately, like, especially following the God of the Forge, he kind of teaches people to, take pride in your work. At least sign your
No,
work.
apparently, this guy really takes pride in his work. He's
charging that
amount.
But in this case, the armor just doesn't show it. It's just
I walk out.
it's shaped metal.
angrily.
You just walk.
I'm just walking out. No, I'm not having any of this. This isn't forgery. It's a forgery.
So,
I turn to him and,
Hmm.
in sheer disbelief of a number that I'm pretty sure I don't know how to
I
count,
don't think he'll allow us to divide by 0.
I say, "You take me for a tourist? You can mock with these ridiculous prices? Be reasonable, and you may have a sale."
he kind of puffs out his chest and says, I'll have you know, none of the prices we give in here are ridiculous. That there is 52,000 gold worth of armor.
Yeah,
and
Demogorgon's a big
52,000
creepy
gold
thing.
exactly. That's
We've
the
already come
offer,
across it
that's right
once, and
there.
it wrecked one of the towns we were
Want
in,
it
and
or
we
not?
just managed to escape with our lives in a boat.
Well, he just dropped it by
So, yeah.
24,000 gold. Like, okay, I'll drop it by a quarter of the price.
I
Hey
think
now,
if you-
25% price reduction is a big price reduction.
If
You
you
should be
keep
thankful.
going,
When you're charging that amount, it's still.
if you keep going, eventually you'll get them down to a copper piece.
I say I turn to him and angrily say, your attempted robbery offends me. It is damn near blasphemous. And
Robbery.
turn around and
You won't
walk
get a
out.
better price than 82,000 gold in any of these shops around here.
You just went above the higher price. It's like you don't know what you're doing. Okay, as soon as I hear this, I turn around, back around, and say, "And you're certain you're in charge of this establishment?"
Yeah, I'm the owner of this place. Why? What you want?
Hey,
You want to talk prices? I've told you the price.
I say, "Well then, good day, sir," and walk out.
All right, you're lost. 36,000 for a set of armor ain't bad. And he kind of walks away from you.
Just pulling numbers out of his ass. I'm just gonna keep trying until he gets me the right one.
F5. Oh, got it. Oh, fuck, I pressed F5 again.
As I'm about to walk out, I will say, you seem to be a reasonable man. Is there anything you would accept in trade for it?
I've already told you the price. 1,800 gold or nothing.
Getting there.
Randomizer.
Maybe they'll get so random they'll actually pay him money just to take it off him.
Beyond your
we only trade in coin here. Unless you've got fresh metal, then we don't want anything. I told you, 132,000 silver.
I have a companion who is made of metal.
How much is Demogorgon meat worth in this world? I actually don't know.
You're made of
don't
stone
know.
and fungus.
Because it will have a value somewhere. Maybe not on this plane of existence, but on some plane of existence it'll be worth a lot of money.
I thought was what we said.
Rock, metal, and fungus core.
I don't mind.
Well, remind me. From what I remember, I thought we agreed you were kind of mostly rock, with the idea that flint stone sorcery was kind of the
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that?
There would have maybe been some sort of metal filigree, but none of the moving parts would have been metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying like I'd been metal specifically. Like I do literally mean ore, like unprocessed ore. Is what I thought.
Okay.
That works. That works for me. If that's yeah.
How about
if that still works? They've been calling you rock giants. So it still makes sense.
So I say, okay then, I have an offer for you. Still quite angrily. I then say, I will trade you 3 weapons for this 1 set of armor.
What weapons?
I gesture to my flail, my dagger, and my hand crossbow.
That armor over there is worth 305,422 copper. That there is maybe worth
copper.
10.
Wait, we can do math here. Is it worth it? I don't know how much copper and silver is in a gold.
That's about 3,000 gold.
10 to 10, so you basically divide by 100.
Oh, right.
Your weapons are still about 2,990 short of that price.
For reference, with this being an armory, I was standing outside the front door. I ain't going in this kind of place.
Rather angry huff.
So, what was going on in there?
Smith.
Did you get any useful information?
I know what helmet we should get for Kamar. That one.
I actually I keep walking. I'm getting away from this.
For the sake of not spreading out too far here, let's just focus on one thing at a time. So Mike, we'll get to you guys in a minute.
Like, this guy keeps randomizing the price. So it's like, why would I stop? He's gonna say, all right, that'll be a silver. Like, yeah, done.
Mein hovercraft is full of eels.
It may be inspired by me playing the old Baldur's Gate games. Eventually, I'm going to get 6 18s. Somebody will get that joke somewhere.
I don't.
Your crippling anxiety.
Somebody will.
I had that weapon once. Oh, it's a good one, isn't it?
Game, but I'm guessing that character creation was randomized.
Yeah. So you're just walking out, Mike.
I say, I have one offer for you, and should you wish to make a sale today, then you will take it. If not, I will leave you.
I've already offered you the price. It's 26,000 silver or nothing.
How much is that in gold?
2,600 gold.
God damn it.
That's slightly more reasonable.
He's still ripping you off.
Absolutely.
But it's less of a rip-off.
Like I said, I expected like 1,500. And again, I can't afford
See,
that.
the danger is, though, is that he'll give you a good price, you'll accept it, and then you'll actually, get the armor properly fitted for you. And then he'll go, right, now, give me the money. And then he'll give you a different offer, and it'll be like, damn it! And he'll get arrested for not paying him properly.
That sort of armor cost me money to make. If I don't sell it for at least 12 gold,
yeah, he
I'm
wishes.
going to make a profit.
5 copper pieces.
Tell you what, then. I will give you 20 gold for it. That way we can all make a profit here.
I told you, it ain't worth less than 300,000 gold. All right, I think you're just ripping. Get out of my stuff. If you're just here to mess around, then get out. This is an important business.
I'm a serious business. Serious. See, what it turns out is the actual owner's left, and this guy's basically, this homeless guy's just wanted it off the streets and just started giving
What?
prices.
He
That's
just-
exactly why I asked if he actually owned the place.
He ignores you and just goes back behind the counter where he just starts polishing the shield again.
He said
should I
yes,
just
but
take
that's
it?
exactly what someone who didn't own the store would tell you.
Like, okay, I leave.
All right, you step outside. You can still see the Dwagar moving about, hammering things. Whilst he was doing that, so were Renan and Anwar doing anything whilst Cobalt and...
I would have been, seeing as I don't have much use for big flashy weaponry or armor, I would have been looking around to see if there's any like of the sort of outsider souls selling any interesting trinkets or gizmos.
Are you kind of wandering away from the party as you're doing this, or kind of sticking with the group and just watching as you're moving?
I mean, I'd let them know that I'm going to be going for a wander, but this looks like a safe enough area considering
you don't want to do that.
And there's a lot of more important.
Don't want to start a fight around here.
You do also see, for what it's worth, every so often you see guards patrolling. Like, this is a well-patrolled area.
And assuming there's no corrupt guards here, it should be fine. Yeah, I'm going to go on a wander.
All right. Roll me an investigation check.
I will have the sort of similar thing on my mind, but I also won't be leaving the party. I'll maybe be thinking, I'll have a look around from where I'm standing. Is there anything I might find useful around here? But also keep an ear out just to see what sort of banter is going on around the place.
Boom! 23.
Okay, roll an investigation check then, Laurie. Okay, so Anwar.
Woo!
You kind of move around.
Good rolls.
You actually notice there is a drow.
All he needs to do is sell one piece of armor at one time in his life and then
individual
just retire. Yeah.
Completely dressed up with jewels, rings, several pendants, earrings all around his ears. His clothing is purple with gold filigree. And he has a set of ebony figurines, all kind of displayed on a wagon kind of table. You can see they're all in shapes of various animals, monsters, and beasts. He sees you and goes, "Ah, my good sir, can I interest you in buying any statuettes of any of the fine animals' surface? Or if you're interested, or if you're more of a local man, it's there are stuff that are native to our homelands."
I'm going to have a look through to see if anything catches my attention. How much are these, out of interest?
Individual prices, I'm afraid. It's dependent. Each one is of different amounts of metals, different amount of efforts and such for the artwork. It's
is that a weapon that is the boss, or a weapon for fighting the boss?
But they're also varied.
You already have the paladin who has a talking weapon
They're made of obsidian.
that talks like a little girl, which is weird, but
It's a obsidian shaping method known only to the drow. Very secret method. I'd be killed if they even knew I was selling these.
It's easy. You get lava and you pour water on it.
Who said that word?
Now,
Excuse me.
Sean, this is a question from me to you, just because I'm a little bit curious. Is there by any chance a panther among these?
There is a panther within the figurines.
I'm sure there's a quote that goes with this one.
I'm just going to have...
As you kind of look through, you do see a panther, you see a dog, you see an owl, you see various things. My mind is suddenly going. You see a fly, you see a roth, which is a kind of you know the moon cows from Futurama, like the beetle cows. Think
Yes.
that's kind of a roth-like thing, but with a
beetle cattle.
wool coat like a sheep. You see a what looks to be a goblinoid of some sort.
Is there a little Demogorgon?
Finally, been charging this
is there a
thing
little
fucking ages.
Demogorgon figurine that I'll be able to use for my games of Dungeons and not Dragons?
There is
Tons of
not.
demigorgons.
I will say, roll me a perception check as you're doing all this.
Why would I want to steal his pants, though?
A perception
As
check.
far
is
as my
right.
character is concerned, all of his clothing is clearly better than his, because he's far too far up his own ass.
18.
Not bad.
So as you're kind of looking through them, a lot of these animals, like you come from the surface, but kind of just the surface. Like there's a lot of surface stuff that you haven't witnessed or seen. However, whilst you're up there, you've seen plenty of dogs, you've seen plenty of owls. These two figurines, they kind of give the impression of as if they were carved by somebody to whom
It's been
a
described.
dog or an owl was described, but yeah, they'd never seen one.
So kind of like when people first brought back like tiger and leopard skins back to the UK, and then they were like I forgot what it's called, but they put the skin around the model, and some people were like, but I've not actually seen it. What does it look like? And then
Yeah.
you get these sort of really weird shapes, and it's just like, what the fuck is that supposed to be?
It's Chinese whispers, but in a sculpting kind of thing.
Actually,
Also, as you
Yeah,
kind of look at
that's
them, he says, I see you taking an interest in the dog. Very.
What's it
very
called
fine
when
beast up there.
you take the animal
most of
skin and you put it around the model
surface races keep them as
to put it up as a
guardians of their homes. Valuable
on display?
guardians
What's
who
it
will
called?
Kill, tear your throat out. Horrible, horrible things.
now I am going to be looking through these, and seeing as I'm going to need, even though these are quite small, aren't they?
They are about the biggest ones are about 2 or 3 inches tall,
Just
maybe the same wide.
Where's Gabe with my
something to
dictionary
basically
man
use
when
as
I
a
need him?
basis for something on, like just as a reference for something I'm working on. Does he? And considering he's a drow, he's gonna have one, even if that's a little bit racist. Are there any spider figurines?
No,
I
There
am
is-
shocked
there
and
is
appalled.
absolutely none. Roll me a religion check.
I'm gonna guess this guy's not a Lolfian.
Or maybe it's because certain religious symbols aren't allowed in the city.
It's a figurine. A figurine of spider isn't necessarily a holy symbol. Just like a figurine of an anvil isn't necessarily a holy symbol of anvil guy. 7.
Carry on.
These are some. I look to the these are some. I look to the dog and the owl. High quality figurines.
Of course.
No, there is something that I'm working on myself that I require something to use as a reference. Do you have any sort of spiders?
What spiders? No, of course. Why would I have spiders? It's
It's something you'd find down here. I think it's something that would show off the skill of the craftsman.
no spiders. None of them.
Oh, that is truly
He
disappointing.
kind of, as you're doing that, he kind of looks around as well, suddenly acting very cautious. Do you wish to make a purchase, or can I move on to the next customer? You're wasting time for valuable customers. I could be making further deals, making money for the day. This journey here doesn't cost me nothing, you know.
Sean, I'm going to take a while to guess there's no one else here.
There is nobody else looking at this stall.
I'm going to pick up. Is there a knoll statue?
Is there a what? Sorry.
A knoll statue. There's something I've probably not seen in very uncommon.
Yeah, there's a knoll. It's very, very basic. Like it almost just looks like the dog statue, but stood up.
Oh, it's doing tricks.
Like it's made a little more humanoid, but it's the same kind of. You could almost guess the same mold was used if it is a molding process.
How
It's
much for this one?
molded after the fact.
How much for this one?
Oh, that one. Oh, that one cost a fair bit of materials, if I remember correctly. And one of my
Taxidermy,
greatest
there we
artisans
go.
worked on that. It would be. Ooh,
Taxidermy is
10
what it's called. We take an animal skin, bring it back, and then put it around a model.
That seems
There
reasonable.
we go.
Of
To
course,
look that one up.
I'm a reasonable drow.
I'll give
I
him.
wouldn't take you for a fool.
I just sort of this like. just look at it.
No,
Does it
I
look
was
like
not.
something
I've
that
never
would
actually
easily
played
fall
D&D 4th
apart
edition.
If I were to.
Roll an investigation check.
Ooh, now dogs versus cats was actually interesting.
Not a good roll.
Fuck.
No, it's obsidian. Obsidian's
what was
supposed
the
to be a
episode
big
number?
friendly
It's in one of my
source of material. Why would it fall
D&D.
apart?
It is.
Yeah.
It is
Is
the
in
highest material
Divinity
plan. I've played
Original
enough
Sin
Minecraft to
2,
know that.
there was
Exactly.
a dog and a cat I
Yeah,
spoke
sure.
to,
For the meat shield,
and it was
portals,
like,
never.
what's better, the
Yeah,
cat
other than
or the dog
Bedrock,
for
of
being
course.
like a good
Of
boy?
course, of course.
And
So
yeah, that argument
it's
went on
35.
for
Cool,
quite a
yeah,
bit.
10 gold.
I give him 10 gold, and
But
I now
personally,
have
I favour the cat. But
obsidian knoll
the
statuette.
dogs are
Thank
actually
you
a
for
more
your
useful animal.
purchase,
I'll
my
give them
friend.
that.
And he
But I
scoops
like
it into
cats.
a pouch,
They're so cuddly.
and then kind of looks over your shoulder as if looking for another customer.
So, do I see Guinevere there by any chance?
I mean, there's
Oh,
panthers.
welcome back.
What do you think inspired this drow to? Well, carry on.
No, I was just saying this drow, for a drow, he's incredibly balling out of control right now.
He's what? Sorry.
He's balling out of control right now.
Balling out of control.
Balling out of control. Look at all
Also,
this
that's a
gold,
bit
all
weird,
this
seeing
bling
as like
covered in it.
all of those messages kind of
Is that
came
because
around
you've
the
got a
same
really
time,
low
and then you said
roll,
I'm
so you're
back,
like, oh man, everything's
which
worth,
means you
worth
may have
everything.
just
Everything's
not heard
worth all my
everything I
money.
replied
Whilst
to.
he's doing that, Renlin,
Oh well,
what do you got on your?
I got
investigation
20.
check? You got 20, and you were kind of listening around as well as looking for stuff, weren't you?
Yeah, I was looking for where I'm standing though, so I've got like a limited viewpoint, but
You don't really notice much. It's quite hard to overhear things when the Dwagar like tutor is basically shouting right next to you and constantly marching along. Like he's making a lot of noise, along with the crowd of the bazaar itself. They're all. Like,
I would have
there is
taken a
just
few
lot of
steps
noise in
away
general.
because of that, but not more than a few. Like I wasn't going to stray too far from the party.
I will say, whilst you are
The Blade
whilst you're
Bazaar.
doing this, you do see quite a peculiar sight. There is just nearby in a stall. There is a Dwagar that seems to be selling things, just
I'll
basics.
answer that in a second.
It seems to be metal tools. He's selling them to a Sverfneblin, and every time the Sverfneblin asks him something, he immediately turns and starts talking to must be an invisible Dwagar, and this kind of goes on consistently. But you kind of like roll an insight check.
19.
You kind of get the opinion looking at it that the Sverfneblin is a little confused, and then you start to like you're listening in. You can hear the sound of the Sverfneblin's voice. You can't make out the words. You can hear the sound of the Sverfneblin's voice. You can hear the sound of the Dwagar's voice. You can't hear any reply or anything from the invisible one. Like, and the Dwagar is acting as if he's hearing something. It's just you can't hear anything, looking at the face of the Sverfneblin, he's about as confused as you are about that. Like he doesn't. You'd guess that he's not hearing anything either. And
Wait, and the Sverfneblin's the salesman?
No, the Dwagar's the salesman.
Okay. Can I understand, even though I can't make out the words, can I understand what language they're speaking in?
The few things you can make out suggest undercommon.
Do you
Okay.
speak Undercommon?
I do,
Everybody in
yeah.
the party speaks undercommon. Makes things a lot easier.
Okay, so the salesman is talking to someone who's invisible that I can't hear. He can hear. And the person
about the
who
Sverfneblin.
was going to buy something seems also very confused.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to stroll over a little bit closer and see, sort of casually start browsing around the products that are also on the Dwagar's sort of layout, as it were, but a few steps back, so I'm not sort of stepping right up and possibly trying to take priority. I'm just sort of staying a bit further back, just sort of having a look, but mainly listening in.
As you approach, the Sverfneblin seems to say something just as you get into range, and you hear the Dwagar go, "You insult my brother! Shoo, shoo! Nothing for you!" And the Sverfneblin just kind of and walks off.
I'll sort of, in regards to that, having a good idea of, I've clearly just stepped in on a private conversation that I really wasn't supposed to hear. I want to try and see, as the Sverfneblin walks away, I want to try and see what his reaction is. Does he like secretly glance back to see if I'm following or anything, or
The Sverfneblin?
Yeah, because he just walked off, didn't he?
No, he just walks off into the crowd. Are you? He doesn't seem to pay attention to you. He doesn't seem to notice you.
I'll walk up to the store. What did he say he was selling again?
He seems to be selling metal toolkits. So basic hammers, drills, chisels, crowbars, those kind of things.
Crowbars, you say?
Grappling hooks and such as well.
We do know somebody who likes crowbars.
We
I do have
Lesbian Matt used to love them. Never made a character about
yeah.
them.
Now I do have a rope.
One character needed it.
And that character needed it, yeah.
I do have a good rope, but I don't actually have a crowbar. Sorry, not a crowbar. A grappling hook. So I'll have a look at grappling hook heads.
You look at them, and all of them are identical. They're the equivalent of mass-produced, and each of them has a loop on the end, which you could probably tie some rope in.
Sorry, I lost you there. What'd you say?
There's lots of grappling hooks. They all look like they're mass-produced, so to speak, like the equivalent of, and they each have a little loop in them that you could tie some rope in. As you look in, the Dwagar looks over and says, "You're looking to buy? What do you want?"
I'll just.
I know. I've asked him. Yeah.
I'll sort of kind of. Also, again, quite confused. Is I'll go to point. I'll point at the grappling hook, but I'll go to say something and sort of go. I'm sorry. Are we talking to someone else?
My brother. Look, bloody.
Oh, is he doing that? Oh, he's doing the invisible thing.
Yeah, I told him you're fucking invisible. Shut up.
Or he's doing
Have I actually heard the other Dwagar that have been invisible before?
The other Dwagar that have been invisible. Yes, you have. This one is making no sound. Other Dwagar. Yes, you have heard the noise.
Is he doing the thing from Avatar where it's that one guy who keeps claiming he's loads of different guys, but he just changes his hat over and over? If you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender or haven't seen it for a while, you will not get that.
I need to watch it again.
It's been too long. I think I've missed out on that one.
The River Village during the River Spirit episode, and there's that one crazy guy.
I can't remember.
I'll buy a grappling hook head off of him, but I'll say your brother's very quiet, isn't he?
What do you? I'll ask him. What do you mean? He's not quiet. He's just how much? 2 gold for the grappling hook head. Good,
2
good
gold?
Yeah, 2 gold.
A grappling hook head?
Are easy to make, dear. 2 gold or nothing. I've literally, you're right there. I've literally just told him. Fuck off. It's 2 gold.
Can I do like a knowledge check as to, I don't know, could he possibly be haunted by like a dead brother or something like that?
Well, what knowledge check do you want to do in regards to this? And I'll base the results on what you choose.
I'm gonna guess that his brother has possibly died, and for some reason he thinks his brother is still alive, and he's just talking to a dead brother that only he can see or something. I don't know.
Would be religion based. So
oh, great! That's one I'm not very good at. 16.
16. I mean, you've heard of ghosts and specters and stuff. Hell, you haven't. You've heard of ghosts and specters and stuff, and wraiths, but typically, I mean, there's ghost stories of ghosts that only one person can see, but usually they tend to drive a person crazy and or
he
kill
seems
them.
Crazy to me.
You don't remember of any ghosts that are specific to one person.
Well, I don't really know what to think about that guy, so I'm just going to keep away from him and just go back to having a look around from a few steps away from the doorway I was at before.
He kind of watches you. You go and says, "You're not gonna fucking bloody foreigners." I know, and you kind of move away.
That was a weird one, isn't he?
You move away, and this, as you kind of walk, as you go back, as Cabal is walking.
We all need to what? What do you mean? And in case you missed it, no, I've never actually played 4th edition.
I'd have walked off like towards one of the other people.
Oh, one of the other people, which you can see Renland and Anwar.
That's where we are right now. We're in like
You can
this
see
street
Renland
along here
and
somewhere,
I'll go to Anwar.
having a wander
Fair
up and
enough.
down.
You can see that Anwar has kind of just been talking to a fairly extravagant-looking drow. As you approach, Anwar seems to finish his business and move back towards you, seemingly clutching something in his hand.
Why would I get the weird one? God damn it.
Into what he's bought.
You muted, Matt.
No, I'm not.
Oh, sorry.
He just didn't say anything.
So he just holds up what looks to be a black figurine.
Does it look rather nicely crafted?
Roll an investigation check. Or roll a wisdom check with proficiency. No, actually, just wisdom
I
check.
should have checked if he was possessed.
Sorry. This isn't blacksmithing, so it's not your...
It's probably a better
it's not
check for
your
me to do,
expertise.
seeing as I'm good at knowing about demon stuff.
right.
Or me being a warlock.
It's distinctly average,
You look at it and yeah, it's not...
which honestly for me means that's exceptional.
Yeah, compared to the store you just came out of, this thing belongs in a museum.
I'll just look at it and just be like, oh, thank God someone knows how to, like, make things.
And as you say that, you look at it and you start to have doubts.
I'm still just like, no, it's... Compared to that shop, this thing, it's a sign from God.
No, I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it up and look to the knoll that we saw, sort of with the thing, and just hold up and like the resemblance is uncanny.
Roll a perception check.
Oh. Okay then.
Oh.
Perception. 15.
15. As you hold it up, you see a little bit of writing carved into it. Made in Blingdenstone.
Is Blingdenstone like the favour in China?
It's where you're from.
Oh.
That's not a
It's
no.
definitely
It's
not
the Sverf Neblin community.
So obviously it's going to be finely crafted if it's Sverf Neblin. I mean, I'm Sverf Neblin and I finely craft
Nice
things.
people aren't
You
always the
do
possessed
know that
ones. I have to say that much.
Sverf Neblin stereotypically specialise in crafting of jewels and metals. Not so much in rock.
This is
It's more of
glass
a
though.
Dwarf or Dwagar.
Oh, this is glass though.
So,
It's obsidian.
it's a mixture. It's a mixture of the two.
Obsidian is
So it's
obsidian
rock
is
turned into
it's
jewels.
volcanic glass.
Yeah, which is made from rocks. Which I suppose, admittedly, could be said about jewels, but it's the halfway point between jewels and rocks, kind of here. It's not. Either way,
Point
it's
is,
not.
you would probably want a glass blower rather than a gem
Yeah.
cutter.
I mean, if you think about it, glass is just made of tiny rocks.
Also,
Yeah.
also, as you think in this,
This
this is made of rock.
it's
You
not
suddenly start, like you didn't notice it when you were looking at it because in the general dimness of the city, without touching it, it just looked like smooth glass. But upon holding it, kind of porous.
I can't help but nibble on
Well,
things.
okay. I know better than to try and start something in the middle of a
These fig rolls are nice.
Dwagar settlement. I'm going to have to pay better attention next time.
Unfortunately, you made a few
I
bad
just
rolls
say-
in that encounter.
Wait, did I just get ripped off by Drit?
Well, actually,
No,
knowing D&D, the
totally
way
got
out
the
is
top of
probably
it.
sideways into another dimension.
closer to Jarlaxle.
And then
that's the character I
down.
was basing it on.
I've got no idea who that is. The only named drow I know of is
I know.
Drit, so he's Drit.
I know, but considering you're using your ignorance as a joke, I'm also using your ignorance as a joke. So, what have you done?
Sorry, that just exemplified what just happened.
I should have gone for this. I should have gone for this. For that one of those for the crow statue. That could have got it to knife fight for me.
Anyway, so at this point, Kamar, you walk out of the smith and you can see
I am furious.
the only person kind of waiting
You're not the
outside
only
for you
one.
is Stool, who
Redundant
just
things.
looks up at you as you approach. He's kind of been left on his own.
So have we just like all converged in the same area, just like furious about everything?
Yeah.
I mean, me and you are furious about the same thing somewhat.
In that case, I just like, yeah, and then draw my sword and start to walk back in.
I grab him. I grab him.
What? No, don't fight a
No,
city!
This is not the time. Not the time.
At this point,
complete the job.
Well, he's just drawn his sword, which means it's gone full brightness, right?
No, as in like I pulled it out of the
It's
hill.
on the sheath.
Yeah.
You do see the tutor that was patrolling up has put his hand up to kind of stop the apprentices and is looking at you with curiosity here. Like,
He's like,
that's
what?
more active aggression
Is
than
that how you
what's
use a sword? I already know how to
I
make
just
them.
say, no, Kamar. It's not the time. Fine.
The tutor goes back to, like, he gestures for them all to start smithing again. They all do, and he starts his patrol again, keeping an eye on you, but also shouting
I
at
say,
them.
please let us move away from here quickly. It offends me.
Hey, who knows what the way
That's
out
exactly what I was about to solve before you stopped me.
My problem is your definition of solving it would get us in trouble.
Not if you kill everybody.
I
That's
can't
you've
fault
just
that,
have you played
really.
Hitman recently by any chance?
I just say, let us find another shop.
Like,
There must
there's a
surely be
moment
others
where
that
Kamar
deal
goes,
in-
"Oh yeah, that's
There
an
will
option."
be others that deal in armor.
I mean, I don't know if there is the way Beanie described it, but
No, there are a lot of there's a lot of
It's a
basically metal shops.
I
bazaar.
look for
There's
one
loads
that
of
is very
shops.
specifically not Dwagar.
You come across a
Like,
What is
you'd
if
come
possible, I look very specifically for dwarf. But I
There is
get the feeling
there's
as
no
basic, I get
dwarfs.
the feeling there's going to be no dwarfs.
Absolutely no dwarfs. You no, all the metal stuff is Dwagar. Like it's their expertise, and anybody coming into the city kind of knows they're not going to make money on that. Like you're not going to
Is
make
that-
money bringing carved metal to Dwagar.
After realizing that somewhat begrudgingly, I look at one of the other shops then. Like one of the other Dwagar shops. Like I walk in, have a quick look around.
I begrudgingly put
How
away
much does
the
it offend me?
You walk in. Actually, this one is actually just a wagon, an open wagon, outside of which a kind of stall has been set up. There's a few crates of helmets, shields, the basics, as well as folded up chain armor. There is a Dwagar on hand at the counter, kind of looking around, dealing with a customer as you approach. The customer exchanges some money and then takes a helmet off the counter and walks off. As you move forward and you get a better look at things, it is all still just armor, isn't it?
But it's how much does it offend me? Like, is
Up,
it still
down,
just
left,
a
right,
literal
hold.
square of iron,
Something
or
push
steel, or
start. That was
whatever.
the Sonic one,
Um,
wasn't it?
or does it at least look a
Up,
little
Down, left, right,
nicer?
hold.
There is a few, and you've kind
Something
of looked at a
push
few
start.
shops as you approached, and you have got a bit.
Damn it!
of
I
the
used to know
convenience feeling
all
going
of the
on.
Mega Drive
This
Sonic
one,
cheat codes.
At the very least, it doesn't look mass produced, but it's not. There's no decoration.
Is it
on
just
There is,
hold A, push
a couple of
start?
shields that are
Is it simple as?
varying.
Excuse me, was it simple as
sizes
that?
of square. There's a kite shield. There is a full-on tower shield.
Left, right, up, down, X
but all of
isn't
them
a cheat code I
are
know
just
of.
They are just
Unless you were just
thin,
typing in directions for the fun of it.
Thin iron. That said, this one, the fact that they are all individual and unique, they kind of give off the impression of a blank canvas, more so than just another bit of metal in a pile of
That's
metal.
fine. I will kind of look at that. I will calm a bit. I'll just be like, at the very least, I can work with this if I need to.
There is, as you kind of stood there, the owner of the store, which is a Dwagar woman, dark grey hair, pulled into a tight bun on the back of her head, simple clothing, quite a plump Dwagar, looks up. Hi, can I help you?
How much is the shield? And I point to the shield.
the Dwagar takes out a player's handbook and quickly checks the equipment.
I'm not sure how much shields are. I want to say 5 gold.
I got it. I thought it is.
5 gold does
There
sound
we
a
go.
bit low, doesn't it?
It is 10 gold.
There you go, 10.
She looks at you and says, it'll be 10 gold per. You can take your pick, whichever shape takes your fancy. Whichever one you think protects you best.
I just nod in improvement and go, very well. I point to a suitable shield, and
Okay.
I hand her 10 gold.
She reaches back, takes it, holds it
Is
up to you
that a
and
reference to something? Because if it is, I don't get it.
Fit for purpose?
Does it look fit for purpose?
Yes, you look at it. It might require a little bit of polish. Like there's a few scratch marks as it's obviously been just thrown into the crate, but you know it is fit for purpose. It is.
Yeah, it's a shield.
Yeah, basically.
It's not just a sheet of steel or iron or whatever.
Why do it need to be more generic?
Not
Make
just
quite
some
interesting
scrap
characters.
metal with a handle glued
With
to
the
it.
handle welded on it, yeah, basically. I'll go, that'll do nicely, thank you.
Okay, 10 gold then.
So yeah, I pass her the 10 gold.
She takes it, puts it into a pouch, and then passes you the shield. Good doing business. Anything else you need?
She's just exclusively a armor smith, isn't she? Of sorts.
Yeah, it's
Armor
most
weapons.
like it's
Metal smith.
metal helmets, metal shields, and chain armor. So chain shirt, chain mail, splint mail.
For what it's worth, I'd have given her a platinum rather than a gold.
That's fine. She takes that and
Semantics.
pockets it. Yeah.
Okay.
I
once
don't think he was being
Cobalt
serious about the
is
whole
done,
play handbook thing.
I probably still visibly fuming from the previous experience. Stride up to the counter and then say, "How much do you charge for plate armor?"
I don't have plate armor.
Ah!
I've got chain mail.
Release
splint mail,
your
chain
rage!
What did you say? I didn't hear that. Really?
shirt. Chain mail, chain shirt, splint mail.
Okay,
Basically
mechanically,
everything but full plate.
Chain shirt.
mechanically, what's the best one there?
Like
Because Kamal would know that.
you'd require
Chain, I think.
heavy. They'd be splint.
Splint.
So,
That would give you armor class of 17.
Yeah, it's only one worse than plate. And
Okay.
it's
Okay. I
200 rather than 1500.
So I then say, "Fine. How much for splint mail then?"
200 gold.
Well, at least you seem to be in charge of your faculties for that. Unlike the previous experience I had when talking to another one of you.
Yeah, I don't
people.
care. Do you want it or not?
I mean, I was trying to have a polite conversation.
Wow.
It was only about to get racist.
Do you
I'm
want
not
it or
racist
not?
yet. I say, would you take anything in trade?
What you got?
I would trade 3 weapons for it.
I don't
Plus,
trade weapons. I do armor.
what would you want in trade, if not gold?
What are you wearing currently?
I'm currently wearing chainmail.
I want to say
I-
150.
Chainmail's 75 for chainmail.
Yeah. Tell you what, you're gonna be wearing that. She points at the split mail.
Has it got any like religious symbols or anything on it?
No, it is completely plain.
In that case, yes, I would wear it everywhere I go.
In that case, I'd take that. What you're wearing right now plus 150.
Well, I don't have that much either.
Okay, just a question, Mike. How much money do you actually have? Because if you have
45
like,
gold.
why the fuck are you trying to buy armor
Because
then?
Kamar has no concept of how much this shit costs.
That's fair. That's fair.
Actually,
What a waste of our evening. Jeez.
For what it's
How
worth,
much
Kabot,
is-
you are right next to this. You can hear him.
I know, how much is what Kamar's wearing worth, sorry?
She said she'll basically knock 50 gold off for it.
I know, but I'm wondering if
75
I was
gold.
I'm wondering if I used it for my. Oh no, I can't because it's too much. I think that would push it over.
Wait, can you just make armor?
As long as it's under a certain amount, yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
It's like 100 gold.
Ah,
So
That's why I
if
can
you-
do shields and most armor. I think the
But
only reason.
basically, Splint and Full Plate are the only
Yeah.
ones you can't do it that right then.
Dang.
Yeah, I think the only reason I got full plate is because we found some on a Dwagar, and Beanie said with 100 gold I can modify it to fit.
Yeah.
I get visibly frustrated, like as if
I say,
somebody, you know, like when you get to a point and you're asking someone a question and you know you're wrong.
if she says that, if she says she'll knock off like 50 gold,
Yeah.
and Kamal's still, if he looks like he's getting visibly annoyed, I'll just say, we'll take it, and I'll give her the 150.
Oh,
She looks at you and says,
I keep forgetting
take-
you're rich because you're
you take
gambling
it,
probably.
Who's the
But
snarkiest person
I'll
here?
leave the armor as
Probably
well.
Kamar.
she gestures at
Probably.
Kamar.
I say yes, of course, and then just immediately strip my armor off completely unabashedly.
You take it off, and it's chainmail. You're wearing padded clothing underneath,
Yeah.
and stuff, so you're not nude. She takes it. She takes the money, puts that in a pouch, and starts rummaging around in the crate. She pulls out a few sets of Splint mail. Kind of looks at you, looks at them. Then she goes. She kind of throws one on the counter and says, "Try this on. If it fits, good. If it's close to fit, we'll fix it up. If not, I'll try another one."
Okay, I try stuff on,
And this goes
flinching
on. For the next,
very slightly every time she accidentally touches my body.
She's not touching your body. She basically lets you put these on for the next 10 minutes or so. You basically put a few on until eventually the fourth one you get is close enough that she then takes it off you, makes a few adjustments over about 10 minutes, just basic tightening of the joints and such, and then passes it back to you and says, "Good doing business with you. Now please get out of my hair. I have other customers to deal with."
Thank
like
you very
I-
much.
Like I begrudgingly say thank you and leave while still trying to like get a feel for it.
It's not particularly comfortable. You're used to these kind of armors though, so it's
Yeah.
not. You know, you're pretty more comfortable in it. That said, actually, it does make you feel safer than the chainmail did.
Like, when we get a bit further away, I will just say to Kamal, I can make some adjustments if needed.
Okay. Is it called splint mail? Like a
It
splint
is called
of wood?
split mail, yeah.
Right.
And it is, for what it's worth, it's kind of, I believe split mail is like almost metal scales kind of linked together.
I will see if I can Google a picture.
For what it's worth, it is, you were wearing chainmail, weren't you, Mike?
I was. I know
So
what
your,
chainmail is.
your AC has gone up by 1.
The world shopkeeper
That
of them
was the
all.
idea.
Do we have backpacks
Technically a genie if you find one.
at all?
You managed to
Or something we can
I
carry
have
things.
I have a backpack. That's
Yeah,
at the
I
very
believe
least.
you all have your
I mean, it's
travel
generally
kits
ours.
and stuff.
Yeah.
That were,
I certainly didn't leave anything in the inn.
oh no,
I
I'm
meant just
meaning
generally.
yeah. Back when you were in Velkin Valve, you did manage to scavenge your original gear and stuff. So I'm assuming you'd have at least a backpack.
Right.
Upon
Okay, yeah.
exiting the store, I far too forcefully, because Kamar again has no concept of how hard he does these things, slam my hand onto Cobalt's shoulder and says, "You have proven yourself a dear friend. A debt has been issued and it shall be repaid.
In
Now,
blood.
Alright,
onwards,
catch you later, Connor.
let us
Thanks
find
for
our
sticking
friends
around.
and do what we came to do," which I'm
As he-
sure I'll remember in the future.
As he does this, you actually feel another kind of hand slap on your knee as you see Stool below, basically attempting to copy Kamar.
Okay, thanks. Have
In
fun
a
later.
very little brother copying his big brother kind of thing.
I smile a bit at this.
Oh, I've got a great idea. If he's going to start taking after Kamar, and
Please
I mean,
no.
obviously he's going to become a massive racist. But we should get him little Myconid plate armor and a little
No,
Myconid.
Splint mail. Kamar will be jealous of its plate armor.
No, a little Myconid plate armor and a little Myconid Dawnbringer.
As we're walking, I'm going to keep an eye out for, I guess, a bookshop
Bookshop. Okay.
or a place that has books.
I imagine
Not
I'll have met
necessarily
up with these
books.
guys by now.
Whilst these two were doing that, I was just about to ask.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying that's.
Anwar and Renan, were you doing anything?
Probably just having a general look around. Any race that I've not had particularly a lot of contact with, I go and see what kind of wares they sell.
Okay.
Just as a general kind of, ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this? Ooh, what's this?
You go around. You kind of just wander around. The general theme you get is like the main merchants in this market are primarily Dwagar, Sverfneblin, and Drow. The Dwagar do all the metal trade. The Sverfneblin do all the like jewelry trade, the gems and such like that. And the Drow seem to have various. They have the most interesting things to you. They have. There is an incense store. There is a apothecary, which is various potions and remedies. There is a. You actually see a bookstore, which we'll get to with Cabal. You will see that in a bit, and that kind of thing. You also see a Sverfneblin. He seems to have a little, almost a toy shop of sorts. And you can see on his counter, he actually has a little figurine that seems to be waddling along the table. You can
Ooh,
hear a little buzzing from it.
okay. Now, considering the stuff I'm working at the moment, that does interest me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go have a word with him, and depending on how much it is, I might buy something, but just sort of start conversing about the intricacies of clockwork.
I'll get back to you in a second. Then I'll just Renlin, what do you say you were doing?
Honestly, Renlin doesn't really want to buy anything. He just wants to collect information, which technically you do need to buy or trade for. But this isn't really the place. I mean, you can do it here, but this isn't really the place where you would do that sort of thing. So he's mainly just going to walk along, listen to the kind of things that people are talking about, what kind of things that people discuss. Is there any general conversations going on? Maybe there's some news about things that have happened recently or things he can pick up on. Just generally listen to the conversation while he follows along the rest of the group.
You don't notice much more than the incident with the Dwagar earlier, but you do at one point notice a group of maybe half a dozen Darrow. This is the almost
They're the crow people.
the crow. No, they're the almost ghostly gnomish creatures. They have shock white hair, clouded white eyes, quite big eyes as well, and dark grey skin. You see a group of them
Yes, thanks,
rush
Google.
through the market, and you see a Dwagar just appear out of nowhere in front of them, weapon at bear, and they just turn around and pelt in the other direction. The Dwagar chasing after them, making far more noise than you'd expect from a single Dwagar.
I'll be back in a sec.
I'll just assume that there'll be other Dwagar there, because also one Dwagar guard by himself, unlikely.
Dwagar, huh?
Because yeah, I mean we've seen this kind of thing before. There's always other Dwagar guards with other Dwagar guards, some of them being invisible. So
Okay, calling them Dwagar guards. Dwagards actually sounds much better.
yeah,
Rolls off the tongue better.
yeah, because Dwagards.
Sounds like you're drunk.
Cobalt, you come across the small bookstore of a sort, and there is a what looks to be a young drow male wearing spectacles on the tip of his nose. As you approach, he kind of looks up, frowns. Made of rock, but there's strange gilding. Not a stone giant. What are you?
I am me.
Sorry, not him laughing in character, me laughing at character. I still love that response.
Because there is no other response to it.
That's fair. That's fair.
There is actually, but all right.
Not really. He doesn't know what. Yeah, he is one of a kind.
Like this thing, I'm one of a kind. There is no such thing as the Warforged race because it's me.
Yep. He looks at you and says, "No. That's not an answer. What are you?"
I am me.
That's not an answer. What are you?
Me. I am what you see.
Well, if you keep asking that, it's getting quite rude. Thank you very much. Welcome back, Connor.
Are you his creator? Is this a construct of some sort?
He's not my creator, no.
Oh, take me to your creator. Point him out to me. Or did your creator sell you to this one? Are you his owner?
This one is quite independent. His creator, I believe, is still in prison.
I just do like the slow
Wait, hang on
motion,
a second. Is that specifically one of those things we just really weren't supposed to talk about?
I don't know about that, but it's more like it just doesn't bode well for the rest of the conversation, does it?
Well, no, this is the thing. Were we told not to talk about that specifically? Because I know there were certain things we were told not to talk about by the guards.
You were told not to talk about your mission.
Ah, okay, right. In that case, I do say that. Renlin's not a nice man.
Slow turn and stare at Renlin.
He looks at you and says, "In prison, you say? In prison? Which prison would that be?" I only ask because I might be able to make a deal, offer some sort of bail money in trade for services. This is such a mighty fine creature.
Why do you think?
At this point, he walks around his desk and starts like.
I'll just go.
He's looking at.
Hold on. Do you think you might be able to get his creator out of prison quite easily? Do you say?
Well, I can offer some bail money in return for, in return for one of his creations.
Well, this one's not for sale. This one isn't for sale.
But there are more of his kind, surely. I'm turning into the other trader. There are more of his kind, surely. Like, this can't be the only one.
I just turn to Kobold and just give him a quizzical look. I mean, hey, he said he might be able to bail. Flint.
Bail is not required.
I tell you what.
Well, very well.
I know you said he's not for sale. 5,000 gold. Here and now. No questions
Renlin
asked.
noticeably stops and kind of has this sort of very furious look of, I want it, but I'm not supposed to. Kind of like...
I'm actually there. Like, I followed Kobold.
I am going to lean very personally.
You hear a very angry grunt.
Just say, I am not a slave. I am not for sale.
I'm not talking to you.
I said he's not for sale.
Bloody surfaces.
I'll actually turn to Renlin and just say, you're not my owner.
I didn't say I was. Stop
Then
saying
you do not
that.
Need to say I am not for sale. I am capable of saying that myself.
Well, he keeps ignoring you and asking me the same question repeatedly, so I feel the need to remind him.
It does sound like he's a very argumentative and disobedient.
I'm not talking to you, drow.
He's kind of
anyway,
saying this out loud, kind of to himself, but so you guys can hear it as he moves back behind his counter.
Anyway,
Don't see any other bookshops on the way here.
No.
I think we should move on further down the bazaar.
Like it seems that each of the drow stores are kind of unique in the way that each of them has their own thing, but it's any more than that wouldn't probably make any money in this place. Like,
I don't think we can afford any slaves. They would be actually quite useful in a city like this, though.
I just kind of sigh and just say, I'm in need of books. Fortunately for you.
You can read.
Perhaps I would be better looking in a different city.
I mean, you're welcome to. Be a bit of a
That's
journey.
a different shop, different city.
Well, I know that escalated quite a bit, didn't it?
Any other bookshops, so
You couldn't see any now. I mean, you're welcome to. Welcome to. I'm just curious. I didn't mean any insult. I didn't mean any insult.
I'll start browse. Well, I won't actually pick any up or touch any, but I'll just start browsing like what books he actually has on his desk.
Bear in mind, he's just got stacks of books. He can just kind of read the spines. He's got them turned so the spines are facing the customers.
Yeah, I'll just read the spine, see if there's anything interesting on there.
Basically, I will say I'm looking for books to aid in learning of the Dwarvish language.
Dwarvish? Not sure I have anything of the kind. I have and he kind of digs through some books. Throughout to Undercommon. There is a Sturf Neblin journal that you could probably get a bit of gnomish from. Maybe this. And he pulls out a book, and it is.
If it's not
it's
direction,
labelled-
then what do you think it is?
That's a strange label.
Sorry.
Because technically, a
labelled, let's
different
say,
different dimension isn't a direction because it's kind of in the same place but not. If that makes
the
sense.
Black Iron, or the Black Iron Smiths, and he kind of flicks.
That just sounds like a band, doesn't it? The Black Iron Smiths.
This is. It does actually. This is a accounting of of various smithing techniques within the Dwagar cities. They're wrote by multiple authors in a mix of Common and Dwarven. It's no promises, there's no exact books, but you can probably take contact exclusive of both and get a bonus on learning. Well, assuming you can speak we're speaking under Common now, so yes, you can very much do that. You can
Assuming you can speak my language. Oh shit.
How much for it?
For this, I actually just bought this here. 4 gold.
Oh, go fucking hell!
Well, the exit to this place specifically
to do my
is
trade. Unfortunately, I've got to pay this
there,
for the journey. It's not a safe
there,
journey. You'll find out in most merchants around here.
there,
Most of the farm
I got through
merchants
it fine.
there, there, there,
I say, very well.
there, there,
Do you
there,
have any
there,
books regarding?
and there. There's lots of ways out. They're just all very, very well guarded.
Is there a name for the? I'm not asking him this, obviously. I'm asking you. Is there a name for, like, the Demogorgon and
the Demon Lords?
The Demon Lords. They're the Demon Lords, are they?
Yes.
I will ask if he's got any books on the Demon Lords.
The Demon Lords. That's a strange one. Not something I'd expect from. Not sure what I expect from someone like you because I don't know what you are. So
This catches my attention.
He comes around so he can actually look at the spines. Kind of goes down them. The Abyss and all its denizens. Takes it out. It's about half an inch thick. Kind of flicks through. Not so sure on the quality of the words, and I've checked it myself. I've not been to the Abyss. Don't plan on doing so anytime soon. 5 gold.
What's it written in?
Written in Abyssal.
I kind of sigh. Just, do you have any books for learning Abyssal?
Well, I can read Abyssal.
This is building up a bit of a.
Are you actually saying you can read Abyssal?
Yeah.
I go.
He can read Abyssal.
Do you care enough to read through this book?
I mean, there might be some interesting information there for me, so I suppose that's my payment for it, I guess.
That'll do, I suppose.
So that'd be 9 gold total for the 2 bucks.
Alright, catch you later, Connor.
9 gold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just standing at the back here, half bewildered and half chuckling to myself, like, people actually paying to read books.
As you're looking through,
Why would you pay for homework?
Reading books.
You can kind of see
Yeah, exactly.
that
Right?
for the most part, this is just various.
It's like going to university, isn't it? Why'd you pay for that?
Yeah, I know, right?
Various
Nerds.
journals and instructional things based on various Underdark communities. There is one journal that looks a bit tattered, and looking at the context of the title, you guess that it originated probably from the surface as opposed to the Underdark itself. But beyond that, there's nothing really unique.
I'll give him a platinum as well. Like, I'll give him a platinum, get a gold back, I'm assuming.
Yep, he does that. Yeah. The drow actually takes the platinum and says a gold tip.
No.
Worth a try. He flicks it into a pouch, takes out a gold coin, passes it to you. All right. Any other books? Wish to learn halfling, maybe? I don't have any halfling books, but I could probably find one.
I am fine for the time being.
Come back if you need anything. I'm not always here, so you won't always find me. But if I am, I've got books.
I will bear that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Have a good day. Whatever. And he kind of looks around, looking for another customer.
I just leave immediately.
Yeah, moving on.
I'll give Renlin the look on the demon lords.
Sure.
Yes.
Have you written down the titles for them, Phil?
I've not. Do you care about us keeping track of the titles, Beanie?
Yes, because I wasn't planning on. It's the Abyss and its denizens and the Black Iron Smiths. If you can just write it down, it'd be appreciated. Just 'cause if I put in my notes, it'll just get lost somewhere. Like, my notes are basically a shambles, let's face it. Anwar,
Yes.
you have reached the little toy maker's counter. You notice that this guy, people kind of glance at him, but nobody's really gone to his stall or anything. He is, as you approach, he really is a toy maker. This is like children's stuff. It's
This
not the
is
kind of
not
thing you'd expect to
something-
see here.
Not sort of thing that people would be expecting to buy here.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm not too much one for toys, I am interested in clockwork and kind of the intricacies of the clockwork. So I don't know if I'm going to buy anything, but I'd love to sort of basically just go and see how interested he is in just talking about it. Go up to him and say,
Just gonna have for a chat.
we're just going to nerd out about clockworks.
Well, you approach, and he is a he's about your age actually, and he is Swerf Neblin. He sees you approach, kind of smiles and says, "Hello, good to see you. Good to see another Swerf Neblin around here. How can I help you?"
Oh, just saw your little the thing wandering over here. Just I'm quite interested in clockwork myself. I was just wondering, and I'm just going to go into all this kind of intricate questions about how you get X, Y, or Z kind of mechanism to.
Come on,
how do you account for the friction between the gears? All that sort of stuff.
He rolled me a persuasion check.
Oh boy!
Okay. Surrounded by fucking nerds.
I like the idea that Kamal was just kind of there at the bookstore, like watching this, and just kind of wandered off due to the nerds. Kind of turned around, and Anwar was there, like nerding out. It's like,
why did I type that? I typed that in Discord.
-1. What a loser.
1.
He is immediately taken aback by all your questions. Like your enthusiasm seems to overwhelm him a little, and he is taken aback. I'm not secret of the trade. I'm sorry. It's I can't share too much.
Maybe if I bought one, I could study the mechanisms. Inside.
That we can do. This one, and he indicates the little one that's little. Basically, it looks like a little Swerf Neblin that's waddling around. This one is 500 gold.
Well, damn.
Where I'm from, you can buy little chocolate eggs. You can open them up, and there's a little plastic thing inside, and you can open them up, and there's a tiny little walking thing along the out of character, of course.
This is an extremely well-crafted thing that moves on its own without the use of magic. That is probably cheap. That's a nice price for it.
Probably. Now, Counterpoint to that, I'm just going to just turn around and walk off.
He just kind of no. Is that a no? Oh. He just kind of looks around.
Just
at his
noped out.
emptiness. Kind of flicks open a little tin box, realizes there's nothing in there, flicks it back down. Oh.
I mean, I would have inquired about other possible things he had. Again, I'm kind of looking for something in the way of a spider because I imagine that's going to be more complex. So I imagine it's probably going to cost even more money.
He tells you that he does tell you spiders aren't really something we work on. It's more of a drow thing. You're not likely to get it from them, unfortunately. But you know, we're not exactly fond of spiders. Bad history. You should know.
Yeah, I can understand that. Just working on something and
The
would
trick
be
is
quite a reference.
giant glass,
I get that.
giant piece of paper. That's the trick.
Have you ever thought of just catching a real one, a living one? Probably the best reference you can get.
That's true. Just kind of getting them to stay still. But, well. I'm just gonna just wander off.
All right.
Just wander off.
All right.
And he's gone
Just-
forever.
Just wander off. I'm going to go on to the next race that I've never met before. Or the next. I'm just going to go into another
That
race.
was the most interesting store you found. So for the purposes of not going through every single store of the market, just because it is a big place, those were the most interesting places that you guys found. Unless you've got something really specific you still want to look for.
I want to find whatever shop the Demogorgon set up.
You'd have thought that'd stand out.
Roll an investigation check.
I can do
I-
those.
The fact you're making him roll this makes me very suspicious.
11.
No.
I found it. It's a crater.
It's a crater filled with insane people.
You look out towards the Dark Lake.
I found it.
Well, now we
It's
know
not
which
far
direction it's
away.
going to come from.
You
For
weren't there
certain.
during the first encounter, so you don't look out into the Dark Lake and get the shivers.
But I do look out to the Dark Lake and realise that there's a thing out there.
With all that said and done, though, is anybody else got any business in the Blade Bazaar?
No.
I think I got what I came for. I know exactly
Yeah,
what I
I
came
think
for.
I've got everything I need.
In
Got
that
everything
case,
I'm gonna get.
as you all group up again and start making your plans as to what to do next, I think this is a good place to call it for the session because it is 10:30.
Sounds
That
good.
is-
Fair enough.
That was a thing.
That was the thing.
Was indeed.
I'll give everybody an inspiration point for that. Again, sorry, there's no experience, but it's not any encounters.
Screw
Yes,
you,
there
I'm rolling
is.
D20.
In case you're wondering, we could either have keep an inspiration point
enjoy
or just
my
roll it for a d20's worth of
many,
XP.
attempts at
So
improvised shopkeepers
plus
and
15
shops.
XP.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
So there we go.
Yay.
And I do always enjoy my crazy
Have a
people.
shield.
All right,
Hooray, I
there
have
we
slightly
go.
better
That is
armor.
the end of the stream.
I-
That's
So
quickly.
thank you all for watching. Now, this channel is not closing down. However, I've been working on this really hard, and the streaming part of this channel is moving over to Twitch over the weekend. So on Monday will be my first Twitch stream. And if you missed that, don't worry, you can catch it on the archives on Twitch, or you can wait until I upload it onto my YouTube channel, because all stuff that I record on Twitch will eventually make its way over to my YouTube channel, so don't worry about that. So thank you all for watching, and of course I'll be streaming Dead Island at 7:30 p.m. GMT on Monday. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.